Hey, welcome to Power Play. I'm Rick Budd, your game master, yeah, I'm here with all these lovely people. Let me introduce. We have Sam Delev as Dr. Caden Dialto. We have Caitlin Bruder as Benny Beckett. Sorry, my eyes are scanning around these papers. I'm doing like 12 things at once, so please forgive me. Caitlin Bruder as Benny Beckett, and Omar Najam as Leon Vigor. And welcome back to our friend B Zelda, who plays Ulez Galley. Hi B, welcome back. Uh,
Hello.
yeah, and I want to throw special thanks out to Jake Kyle and everyone at Q Times for making this possible, and to my buddy Rich Milena Weber, who helped me work out another rules issue this week. That man has a good gaming brain on him. Go find Rich on Twitter at r Milena, and see what he's doing. And yeah, so your subs and bits support Q Times, but your tips support the people on this show. It's kind of a feed the cast fund. And to that end, we've got some rewards, and here's how the rewards work tonight. If we get to $50, the cast gets the team gets a point of community determination, as always. They have 2 points of community determination banked right now, but several of them are already completely out of determination, so it is in high demand, and they need this stuff. So that is $50, a point of community determination. And at $150, the mysterious benefactor. In universe, our team has a mysterious benefactor who sends them gifts. Nobody knows where they come from or who the mysterious benefactor is. Outside of the universe, we know that that mysterious benefactor is you, the chat. And this week, you have the chance to send Dr. Caden Dialto, played by our own Sam Delev there, a metal baton, which is level 5. So it deals up to 5 in damage, which is good. We don't want them to always have to improvise with the pull cues and everything like
Help me
last week.
do violence. Thank you.
They do violence. Yeah, so that is $150. We got the mysterious benefactor. And at $250, if you are generous enough to get us to $250, and you have been so far this season, we are so incredibly grateful. We have the after credits lore drop, which is kind of one of my favorite parts of this show now. Strangely, it just sort of came out of nowhere. But yeah, we've been having fun with the after credits lore drops, and if we get to $250, we got the after credits lore drop. So you can always see these tiers in chat with the unlocks command, and Jake will throw them out every so often. And if you can't help us out by throwing it in the tip jar, you can help us out by liking and commenting on our videos and sharing tweets, and, stuff like that. And the fan art that has been rolling in the last week or two has just kind of bowled us over. So it means a ton to us. So thank you for everyone who did that. And yeah, the game we play here is called Icons. It's published by Ad Infinitum Adventures and was created by Steve Kenson. You can find him on Twitter at @skenson. The book edition that I have is published by Green Ronin, although they are all of a sudden out of stock on it. Strangely, suddenly there has been a run on Icons. Could be for any reason nobody knows. And you can still get it as a PDF, though. It's a great game. We play a hack. You can check out some of the details of our hack in the intro to episode 1. And if you want, you can always tweet at me. I'm at rbud913 on Twitter, and you can just come at me with your questions. And or we got a room in the Q Times Discord now. So go there. You can register for like a role and press a little superhero guy, and it's cool. And I'll look for questions there also. And yeah, so those are all the game announcements. And while I have got you, as I have said so far every week, we are in the end game, and now really we are in the end game for this election. Just like in that movie, the whole world is kind of at stake, and it is going to be decided in a big final showdown, dramatically enough. So we need every single one of you to show up. Please make a plan to vote, get it done. They're trying to put barriers in your way. Just don't let them psych you out. There are so many lives at stake here. We are all depending on each other. Go and vote, please. And yeah, that is that. Please follow the show at PowerPlay RPG on Twitter and Instagram. And that's the announcements. Time for PowerPlay. I am still just loving that song so much. It's like, when I heard the song, I was like, man, I hope the show is good enough to earn that. So anyway, previously on PowerPlay, a man known only as John Doe absorbed Caden's power over harmonic resonance and started an earthquake that shook all of Baronsdale and some other parts of the city. Benny, Caden, Vion, and Ulez attempted to track John Doe down, and from a security camera at the storage facility where Ulez first awoke, they learned John Doe had been involved in a shootout that resulted in him getting zapped with some strange energy. At the same time, our informal team found themselves being hunted by Bella Murata, a psychic investigator sent by a powerful gangster named Mickey Bomberg. After they turned the tables on her, Bella offered to tell the team who John Doe was and where to find him. The catch was they would first have to help her girlfriend, Dalen Prawley, get out from under the thumb of a blackmailer. The team was ultimately able to help Dalen, so Bella revealed that John Doe was actually a low-level enforcer for Mickey Bomberg named Curtis Haber. And she gave the team his address, which was located in a dangerous Baronsdale neighborhood known as the Vault. And that is where we start. Actually, that's not where we start. Because while our team was helping Dalen Prawley and earning the address of John Doe, their friend Ulez Galley was a little shaken up. See, Bella Murata, oh my God, I'm mixing everyone's names up. Bella Murata had activated some memories in everybody. And Ulez, who has some memory problems right now, was just a little shaken by these sudden flashes that they got. So they opted to stay behind with Sandy Carpa, the Vion's friendly landlord, who had previously promised to show Ulez his garden. And so Sandy brings you into his apartment and he walks you through. It's a nice place. It's much bigger than Vion's apartment and much more well decorated. And he's really excited and he's just, yeah, come on, follow me. And he takes you through to these sliding doors and he opens them up. And since he's on the ground floor, it opens up into like this kind of surprisingly large square yard with a big fence around it. And it is a kind of a stunning garden. It is surprisingly large, incredibly well kept. There are rows of flowers and plants, all different varieties. Your software recognizes catmint, miscanthus, coral bells, lily of the valley, all these things. It's really quite a sight. And Sandy kind of just, gestures out over the garden. So told you I had plants. Here they are.
Yes, you did. If you would wait perhaps 20 to 25 minutes, I would love to run some scans on them. I will remain stationary here. Please do not be alarmed at my lack of movement.
Yeah, no, I understand. I love scanning the garden. I sit out here all the time thinking about how, thousands of years ago, before the Europeans came and built this city and these buildings and roads, there was like nothing here but plants just like these. And
truly,
it was just like any other piece of earth, just nothing. It's cool when you think about it, right?
Sandy, will you narrate more of these tales to me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love sitting out here. This is actually my wife's garden. God rest her soul. She loved just kind of coming out and planting seeds. Sometimes she'd buy these mystery packs, and then she wouldn't. She would just wait to see what they grew into, and it was her way of relaxing. She was the business type. Actually, she was the landlord, so the buildings were her. All the businesses were hers. I'm not really a businessman. I'm actually an artist, and he leads you over. He's like, "Come here, look at this." And he's got in the corner set up. There's an easel, and on it there's like a pad, and it looks like Sandy has been sketching flowers. And he's I like to walk around and look at all the flowers, and then I draw my favorite ones. It kind of makes me feel more connected to them. You want to try? And he picks up the pencil and he hands it to you.
What appendage would you prefer that I utilize this with?
I guess whichever one you think is the most expressive.
Hmm.
Why don't you just... What?
Oh, I was going to try my left hand.
Ah, yeah. Southpaw, eh? He hands you the pencil.
Thank you. I think this is an untraditional form of expression. I am not entirely familiar with this. How do I replicate that? Is it with a stabbing motion?
Well, and he picks up a second pencil. There's like a little can full of them, and he sort of, he points to a nearby row of flowers, and he just kind of quickly sketches like a stem and the shape of a leaf, and he adds a couple little circles to it, and shades aside, and before you know it, it's a plant, and he's like, something like that, but do it your way.
I'm going to study this. Please admire.
And he takes a step back.
Is there like a role that you need, or is it just
no? You can
whatever Ulez does.
It's whatever Ulez
You can't
does.
fail at art.
You're so kind.
I mean, if you want, you can, but it's like you are also welcome to just go ahead and draw whatever Ulez draws, and we'll throw it up. We'll put it on Twitter later or something.
Okay, so you had mentioned cat. What was it? Cat something?
Catmint?
Catmint. I don't know what that is, but both Ulez and B, like they've understood cats. They've met a dog. They've documented that information. This is proven. They exist. They know about them. But what about them makes them mint? So not only do they spend a good portion of the afternoon studying the catmint, they will I think their representation of the drawing is their first analysis of what it was, and it's a little piece of mint on top of a poorly drawn cat. Until they were able to properly understand that it's not really a portmanteau of two words, because they don't individually mean a thing. It's just a plant. But Ulez loves it. And Sandy, what do you think?
Oh, you're done with the sketch?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what I'll say is, as you're finishing up the sketch, your friends, Benny, Leon, and Caden, walk in, and they, well, we have to pick this up because it happened last week. They quickly let you know that they are on their way into Avalon to help out a friend of Bella Murata. Anybody want to talk to Ulez or see what they're doing?
I'm hard at work. Greetings, though.
Well, hey, Ulez, we're gonna step out and do a little bit of investigation on this case. We're kind of following a trail. So, are you all right to hang out here?
I am. Sandy and I have been working on a lot together. Would you be so kind as to see what he has shown me?
Yeah. We got 1 second. I think we can spare, and then then we'll probably have to head on out.
I was advised to use a pencil, but I had a hard time holding it. So I picked up the next best thing that I had, and I drew a cat with a mint leaf.
What is
That's
that?
fantastic, Ulez. Sorry, Doc.
Nothing.
I think I'm fitting in very well here.
Caden subtly Googles cat. Based on where we are in the timeline of not having yet been introduced to cat last episode.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Continuity, my friends.
Pre bodega cat.
Great
The
cat.
timeline.
Great catch. Sorry, I should. So Sandy leads your friends out. He walks them out, and then he doesn't come back. And while you are there waiting for Sandy to come back, it changes from day into night. So.
It's like the lights go out. Wow.
God, I love this. That's fantastic. So yeah, and Sandy just has not come back. It is starting to get dark, and yeah. So what do you do?
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm certainly not lonely because I have plants around me. I as much as I would love to practice my artistic expression a little bit more, I have a prime directive. I have been doing my best to perform that, and am I still in Vion's space? Or
You are
am I
down
in
Sandy's garden right now?
Sandy's garden? Okay. I'm gonna take the time
You just finished your sketch at the easel.
to just really take in this space, especially if it's exposed to the outside, like appreciating the dark skies, and if there is any stars that remains outside of that light pollution. I'm sure they're beautiful.
Well,
But it's like
I think there you can see a couple like right over here. So
North in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Projecting my love of the night sky onto my background tracks.
I love it.
and while you're admiring the night sky, you hear the sounds of arguing voices. You can't really make out what they're saying. It's kind of indistinct. It seems to be coming from inside, back in Sandy's apartment.
Oh, I will investigate. They are the only person that I can really claim as a friend at the moment in this space, and I want I would like somebody else to speak with. It's hard without any other connections.
Okay, so you walk back through the apartment and you see that the front door is open, and you walk straight back through the front door outside, back to the front stairs of the building. And you see Sandy standing with two men. They are, let's see, if I had to cast them, they would be, let's say, what's that guy's name?
What is he from?
That dude from The Walking
Earth.
Dead. Hang
I know this one.
on. What's the name of the guy who plays Daryl on The Walking Dead? Someone with
From. Oh no, I've caught your
Is
thing,
on the
Rick.
tip of my tongue. Yep.
what is it?
From
Norman
the
Reedus,
game.
says Google.
Yes.
Norman Reedus. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Yes. Picture Norman Reedus.
Oh.
But there's two of them. And one of them has kind of long hair and a shaggy beard and is a little unkept and is wearing kind of a heavy black jacket. And the other one is wearing a suit and has short hair and is much neater, but otherwise they are completely identical twins. And they are standing very, very close to Sandy. And hang on a second, I want to see something. Liz, your awareness is fine. Okay, and when you walk out, you catch like a little bit of the conversation one of these guys, the one with the short hair, is kind of leaning in very close to Sandy, and he says, he's like, what did you do with the body? Where is the body? And Sandy's just like, I have no idea what you're talking about, you know. And the other one kind of, you know, grabs Sandy by the collar, and, you know, the sort of the rougher one with long hair grabs Sandy by the collar and sort of picks him up a little bit, you know, manhandles him very roughly. And Sandy's just like, I swear, I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
Greetings.
And,
I am interrupting. What are we doing?
And both of them kind of stop and look up at you standing, I guess, at the top of the stairs. And they look at you for a second, and then they look at each other, and they look back to you. And then the one with short hairs, hey, it's you.
I have already greeted you. Are we past this part? You all perform a lot of greetings, and I am quite fond of them.
And the rough one takes Sandy Carpa and throws him to the ground very hard. And I'll tell you what, right now, Ule, you have 2 determination. I'm giving you a point of determination, and I am compelling you, based on your quality, that you are strangely protective, to defend Sandy Carpa from this guy.
Okay. Oh no.
So he just throws him to the ground, and then he looks back up at you. He's, hey, friend.
I don't believe that is... Your greeting was a wonderful greeting, but your actions do not match your words. Excuse me, and I'm Les will take the... They have little legs, so it takes a couple time to get down the steps. They have to hold on to the railings. Not a lot of stairs where they come from. It's all ramps.
And as you walk down those stairs awkwardly, the one with the long hair starts reaching towards the inside of his flak jacket very slowly.
We do not appreciate your treatment here. The individual that you have thrown onto the ground they are emitting a color that humans emit when they are injured. And if you do not comply, I don't like violence. I truly don't, but your actions encourage my actions. Ulez is not going to raise their hand yet because they're a baby, but they want to be protective, so they're going to go stand over and around Sandy.
And while you're walking, around, while you're putting yourself in place, the one with the short hairs, hey, this doesn't have to be. We don't have to go to violence, folks. Let's keep this nice and under control.
Thank you.
Yeah. Why don't you just come with us, and there doesn't have to be a fight.
Excellent. We will bring Sandy.
And Sandy, looks up and he's like, don't go, get out of here.
I am assisting. I am protecting.
And he's like, how are you gonna? And while he's talking, the one with the long hair kicks Sandy like right in the ribs, and Sandy kind of coughs.
I have asked you, please stop harming them.
All right, roll initiative.
Don't make me do this. I've tried so hard not to fight. Liz just wants to study plants and make friends. Oh, heck.
Humans, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're rolling your coordination?
Yeah.
For initiative.
I got a 6.
You got a 6.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 6 total?
Well, coordination plus a 1d6, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. It's sad, I know.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what you were
other
saying.
areas.
It was like, yeah, you're supposed to add. Okay, yeah, okay. So, all right. Okay, you go. Okay, so the one with the long hair goes first, then you, then the one with the short hair.
Okay.
The one with the long hair just reaches back with the hand with the gun and punches at you. And he is going to roll his prowess. You got to decide how you want to, do you want to try and take it with your strength, or do you want to try and dodge it with your coordination?
Can it just hit my really hard helmet? Like, I've got a tough-ish exterior.
No, you don't actually. Your exterior is level 2. You're like made of plastic.
I'll put my arms up.
Okay, so that's a strength roll.
Okay.
Oh, you're so lucky. What did you get?
I'm rolling. Yeah, I am rolling against you. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean on this dice? Oh, I swear to God, if it means a 1, I'm gonna cry. No, it's the 6. 8.
8. Oh my God. So he goes to
I'm
throw
so
a punch,
nervous.
but as soon as he throws the punch, Sandy Carpa grabs his leg and pulls at him, and his punch kind of steers wide of your head. And now it's your turn.
I'm sure there's a moment in which all of this, where, as I kind of tried to imply, Ulez is their form of protection is to kind of stand in the way. They were never raised around violence. They are an observer. These rather extreme acts of abuse are a little beyond their comprehension. However, there's this welling up of a feeling that isn't a feeling that has really, really ever been in there. And it's combined with that strong sense of wanting to protect. And in layman terms, I think it's just anger. I think it's just good old-fashioned anger. So especially upon seeing Sandy try to, like, homie is already hurt, and then he takes the time to grab that leg to protect Ulez, and I'm supposed to be the one protecting. So with both of my hands, I can't let you do that anymore. I have warned you so many times, and this isn't going to stand. Normally, this would just make you it would make you grow better, but I think it does something else now, and I'm going to use the power.
Okay, make a power roll. Your light blast is level 4 now.
It is.
You got your minor change last week, even though you weren't here. So yeah, you roll level 4, and he is just going to use his strength to try and take it because he doesn't know what's coming. So he's essentially just going to stand there. Okay.
And they thought Ulez was a lightweight.
So,
You can always accept the way they hit it.
I needed that. Thank you. I got a 9.
oh, you got a 9.
Yes.
Okay, that is a moderate success. You blast him, and it because this is your first time ever doing this, and it comes more from instinct than from some kind of like strategy. You kind of just put your hands out and blast, and it just barely kind of hits him, but it does hit him, and it is a weird thing because it knocks him back. And as you know, when your light blast hits somebody, you siphon their stamina to yourself. Now, what is your? You are actually full right now, so I guess the effect will not happen. But he still kind of feels this weird drain as it hits him, and he backs off, and he turns to his twin brother, and he's like, "We need to reassess." And he puts his gun back in his jacket, and the two of them just walk abruptly down the street together and just kind of disappear into a crowd, leaving you there with Sandy Carpa, who is just lying on the sidewalk, kind of gripping his stomach.
Well, I believe I resolved the situation.
It seems like, yeah, I hope so, but I don't know.
And they have left?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. Yeah, I feel like that's probably about right. And you help Sandy, let's say, up and back into the house. And this is going on while the rest of you are out having your adventure with Dalen Prolly that we covered in episode 3. And by the time you get back after calling the police on Hugo Hill and watching the arrest go down and all that stuff, it is Tuesday morning, October 13th, at about, 5:30, 6 a.m. The game, just for everyone watching and the players, I guess, remember, the game started on October 11th. So now we are on Tuesday, October 13th. So it's been a busy couple of days for y'all. And it is now, like 5:30, 6 a.m. after your adventure with Dalen Prolly. Dalen and Bella have left. And the three of you are up at Beyond's place. And the three of you are up at Beyond's place.
All right. Well, anyone want any coffee or anything?
My understanding was that sleep was the appropriate course of action for most of you during this time of day.
The new day is about starting, though.
Does that mean you give up?
Sometimes.
Noted.
Yeah. So coffee.
I don't require additional chemical supplementation. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll take one.
All right. Sounds good, Benny. Coming up.
And as Vion makes the coffee, it changes from dark to light out. And there's a knock on the door, and you hear the voice of Sandy Carpa. Vion, you back?
Yeah. We're back.
I've clearly been misinformed about the hours for circadian patterns, if all of you are awake.
No, I mean, you're right. We just aren't healthy.
And Sandy lets himself in, and he comes in with Ulez, and you can see that Sandy is a little worse for the wear. Where you all been?
Destroying evildoers.
Yeah, I guess we'll just rip that bandit right off. Yeah, we were just sort of fighting, let's say, it's from some of the darker shadows of the city. It's the way to put it.
Darker shadows of the city. Yeah, okay. While you were fighting the darker shadows of the city, I was getting the crap kicked out of me by two kind of hillbilly-looking weirdos. One of them in a suit, the other one had like long hair and looked like a rock star. They wanted a body, somebody, and then I don't know, and then
body. I was listening. They wanted one body.
Bruce.
Somebody. I have no idea what is going on.
They may have also been the darker shadows of your city.
There's surely more than one. They just showed up and kicked the shit out of you? That's...
Well, first they were all like friendly, like asking me about, what I do with it. Where is it? They know I have it. And then I'm like, what? And they say like something about a body, some kind of body. And I literally have no idea who they are, what they're talking about. I mean, I know who they are. They seem like some kind of criminal talk, like these look like organized crime guys to me, but but I don't know them or anything.
All right. Well, it looks like there's like another kind of lead for us to kind of peek into.
Is it related to the thing we're already looking for?
Perhaps through Mickey Blomberg, who is not the best choice of mafioso for people to affiliate with. What happened after they kicked the shit out of you?
Well, I mean, Ulez here shot some kind of cool thing out of their hands, and it hit the guy, and then they just took off. I guess, I don't know. It was pretty freaky. I was kind of freaked out too, so maybe they were freaked out. I don't know. I don't know what happened, honestly. It all happened pretty fast.
Well done. Noble victory.
I thank you. Yes.
Good. Ulez, are you all right? Are you hurt or?
Oh, no, thank you. I was really lonely, and I was tired of talking to the plants, so I went to go see Sandy, and Sandy's guests were a little pleasant with their words, but less pleasant with their fists. And they kind of hurt my feelings.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sandy, is there like security cameras at the front of the building? Is there any way we could like see these guys, identify them?
No. I can't think of anything. Next time I'll try and snap a cell phone pic if they come back.
I
Yeah,
could
can't hurt.
describe them as I saw them. My descriptions are much better than Sandy's. Sandy, you do a very minimal job at your human descriptions.
I appreciate that. I don't know either what a hillbilly nor a rock star is.
Oh, well,
Myself
yeah.
either.
Oh,
Well,
I gotta bring you my Leonard Skinner albums then, because we can kill two birds with one stone. I mean, I think you'll really enjoy them.
Are the avians also evildoers?
And Sandy kind of quiets down and just.
Why do they need to kill them with stones?
Yeah. So, while you're kind of mulling that over, Doc, could we get Ulez? You're very observational. If you could describe, and then possibly Sandy, if we could call upon your artistic prowess, if you could possibly sketch out what these two gentlemen look like.
Could I help with the drawing?
Yeah, as long as Ulez can help with the drawing.
Thank
I'll tell you
you.
what, Ulez, why don't you make a roll on behalf of Sandy? Let's say his hand got hurt when he was getting beaten, so you've got to kind of draw it. So we're going to call that drawing for you is probably coordination, I would think.
Sure.
What did we say? Because you have a bonus for art, right? Yeah, you
I
have.
do. I literally do. So, like,
Yeah,
I'm kind of down
specialty.
for this.
Okay, you have specialty in drawing, and we'll call your drawing ability your coordination.
Okay.
Your dexterity with a pen, let's say. So yeah, make a coordination roll, and you can add your drawing bonus to that.
7.
Okay, I'm gonna. Let's say it'll be. You draw a reasonable likeness. It probably is good as like the low-level police sketch artist that draws like the guy who kind of looks almost like a stick figure, but it's just close enough that when you see the guy who did it, it actually kind of looks and you're like he does look like that stick figure. It's like it's one of those. So you now have, let's say, let's call it a level 3 sketch. Lets you determine this face within a level 3 level of recognition in case you come into contact with these people.
That's honestly better than I can sketch, so respect.
I cannot sketch at all. So,
Oh my gosh.
so you now have that, and Sandy's kind of. So what were you all doing?
Oh, Sandy, honestly, it's a long story.
Yeah, well, I hope it all worked out. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Are you injured? I am a doctor if you need a medical exam performed.
When we walked up the stairs, there was a part of him I felt. Well, I heard it crunching.
Well,
They
I'm
aren't
just
supposed to do
older.
that.
A lot of stuff just crunches, when you get my age. But yeah, why don't you make an examination of Sandy? Roll for that.
Poor
Gotta get some
Sandy.
doctoring in.
That's a 9.
Okay. You think that he is probably generally okay. He has bruised ribs. You don't think any of them are broken. You think he will have a lot of bruising in the places where he was kicked, but otherwise, you do not see any cause for serious immediate alarm. Probably get yourself checked out, more thoroughly later territory.
You're going to have some swelling, possibly some bruising. The current medical literature is conflicted as to whether it is a good idea to tape up bruised ribs or let them heal naturally. So monitor over time. Here is my card. If you need to go to Serrano Memorial, please let me know and we'll speak with my coordinator. to help get
Hey,
you in.
Serrano Memorial, eh? You must be
Yes.
pretty good.
I am.
All right, gonna hold on to this, and he just like tucks it into his pocket. And then kind of hobbles out, a little bit of a limp, but generally okay. And he disappears, leaving the four of you alone. And yeah, Bella's gone. You now have Curtis Haber's address and this new lead, and it's daytime. What do you think you might want to do?
I'm sure we exposit to Ulez our findings and what happened last. Oh,
Yes, perhaps
Benny,
over our nutritional supplementation.
yeah, we eat. And at some point, Benny takes out her phone. Is like, "Oh, Ulez, by the way," and she has 3 blurry photos because we were on the move like all night and the lighting was getting really bad because it was getting dark. Of like plants she saw. One of them is like a weed out of a sidewalk crack. One of them was like a wilty like flower in a window box. And
love
one of
that
them is
one.
completely unidentifiable. Just various like flora that you can see in a city at night. She's like looking at the note. She's like, "Well, I'll take better photos of plants for you next time, I guess." But shows them anyways.
I think these are beautiful. I don't know what they are, so my analysis can only be that they are perfect as is.
And as that happens, Caden, your phone buzzes. You have a text from Dr. Tally.
Yes.
She wants you in.
Excellent. Please forgive me. I have been texted by my attending. There's the possibility that I will be able to have the good surgeries.
Well, go to it, Doc.
Yes, I will. Please alert me if there's anything else we need to know about the hillbilly, the rock star, or the
Correct.
Curtis.
We'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
Yes.
And you take off, and it'll take you about 10
I just
minutes.
partially out of the door. Again, noble victory.
Yeah, it'll take you about 10 or 15 minutes on foot to get from Fort Trumbull over to your hospital in Yard Hill, and you head over to Serrano Memorial. And sometime in that time, Benny, you also your phone starts to ring, and you see it is Dino Mink.
She stares at it. She lets it ring until like the last 2 or 3 and just goes, "Hello."
Hey, Benny. Missed you at work yesterday, which was, Monday.
Mhm.
But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. How was your weekend?
Great. There was an earthquake and I was in the hospital. It was not fun. I told you this.
Yeah, well, mine sucked. Honestly, it's like the lady from the aquarium supply store. She turned out to be like a cult member, those weirdo enlightenist people. It was honestly the longest weekend of my life.
How do you have a story like this every week?
I asked myself that. and there's like a long pause, and then he's like, anyway, we got an interview today. So how long is it going to take you to get in here? And I will tell you that the Chatterbox offices are in Ruby Village, right by where you were with Dalen probably the night before. And it'll probably take you about, 30 to 45 minutes on the subway, depending on, how they're running.
I can be there in an hour.
All right, just hurry up. I don't want to keep our massive celebrity guest waiting. And he hangs up the phone.
I think I have to go too. I've skipped a day of work. I've skipped 1 day of work. You can't say shit to me. I guess I have to go too.
Also, you needed to get like a new phone and like all that stuff. And you got mugged.
Yeah, it was all bad. It was a bad time. I guess I'm going in because apparently he doesn't understand the meaning of I'm not coming into work. I'll tell him. I'll try. I don't know. What are we do? Are you guys gonna follow up on some leads? I guess I can try to. I don't know how much I could do at Chatterbox, but hopefully this interview won't take long, and I can be back. Meet up with you guys again in a few hours.
Benny, you got a life, so you go live it, and then when we're able to reconvene, then we'll reconvene.
I'm not gonna lie. This is Not gonna lie,
Oh.
this is the most exciting thing that's happened to me in several months. So I will be back post haste. I'll keep in touch.
Goodbye.
Sounds
She
good.
slams the rest of her coffee and will head back towards Shatterbox.
All right, yeah, and you are on your way. Dion and Ulez, you are left together in the apartment, and we'll say that the two of you kind of catch up a little, and we're going to jump over to Serrano Memorial as Caden is arriving, and you see Dr. Abigail Fripp, your roommate, working on some patients, and she sort of motions you to come over. But before you can get over there, Dr. Tally steps into your path. Dr. Dialto,
Dr. Tally.
why don't we go talk in my office?
Of course, doctor.
And she leads you to her office, and she sits down behind her desk and offers you the seat in front. And you have been at work, and she looks down at her schedule, 2 hours in the past 2 days. Is that right?
That is in keeping with the efficiency of surgery I performed yesterday morning, yes.
Efficiency.
Yes, if you'd like to see the charts for the patients.
No, I believe you that they are efficient in that sense. That is why I hired you, Dr. Dialto. You know there is nothing more important to me than getting a patient through surgery while being under anesthesia for the minimum amount of time. And when I saw your skills, I knew I wanted you on my team. But I only want you on my team if you can turn around a volume of patients that makes it worthwhile. And 2 hours in 2 days is even beneath the standards of your generous agreement.
Were there good surgeries then?
They were excellent surgeries. All of the surgeries you do is excellent. Dr. Dialto, you are extremely good at what you do because, and she points over at Fripp, who you can see sort of through the window of her office. You don't get bogged down and overly attached. You are cold. You turn it off like a machine, like a robot. And when you do it, you are the best surgeon in this hospital. But I can see you are preoccupied. It is pretty obvious all over your face. What is it that is occupying your attention so much?
The circumstances surrounding the recent earthquake, Doctor. They trouble me, especially this nearer to our hospital.
Make a willpower roll.
Mm-hmm. 5. Caden is telling the truth.
Yeah, and she buys it, if just. She maybe senses that you are not giving her the full truth, but Dr. Dialto, I suggest you get back to work, and I suggest you put your mind back in to your job for a while.
Of course, Doctor.
Dismissed.
Are we still rounding at 8 a.m.?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Are we still rounding at 8 a.m.?
Yes. Yes,
Then
we
I'll
are.
complete 3 rounds and see you then. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. And she just watches you go. And where do you go?
I round on my patients because I do remember I did a surgery yesterday. I think I rolled a 9 on it.
Yes,
that was the one where I was on the phone and I was like opening a sternum. That's all I remember. I just remember the sternum. And I'll have, I think there's at least one other patient I need to round on, as well as any others who are going to be on the docket. for the day. Basically, a resident is going to do rounds before they round with the attending so that they have something to present about each patient.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really pre-rounds. Seeing what patients are up, claiming territory. What?
Claiming territory. Okay. Yeah. And
I want the good surgeries. I'm earlier than everyone else, so I get them.
Yeah, you are making your rounds. And while you are doing that, Benny, you arrive at the Chatterbox offices and find Dino Mink, who I would say I would cast with, like, let's say a young Vince Vaughn. And he kind of just sees you come in. He's, Benny, it's good to see you.
Is it? Sorry, what's up?
All right. Well, we just have to get through this, and then I can go back to sulking. I need you to do your wonderful job holding the lights and the cables while I interview. Well, celebrity guest may have been a bit of an overstatement. Are you familiar with the B-movie king, Joel Fons?
Am I?
Let's say you're not. He's one of these independent filmmakers whose movies are so bad that people love to watch them. So he's actually got a lot of buzz right now. He takes it very seriously, which strangely just seems to make them funnier. Anyway, I want to get things set up, and he starts, unpacking his gear and stuff like that. And
I fall into step. I know how to do this part at this point. Like,
yeah, you get to the grind, and Benny, what do you have right now? You have
determination points. Is that what you're asking?
Determination. Yeah. And I'm going to give you a point of determination because Benny, you have a quality which we gave the rather extravagant name to what is it called?
It is fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all. And what this basically means in short is that sometimes you kind of lose control. And I am giving you a point of determination because while Dino is unpacking his bag, right behind him, your hair cascades into fire.
Okay, well, she probably immediately spikes a panic, which probably doesn't help right away. But yeah, she would try to put it out as fast as she could.
Okay, do me a favor, quick, make a coordination roll.
Coordination.
Oh
boy. I got my Benny. I got the coffee dice. We'll do the coffee dice.
Yes.
Coffee dice for Coffee Boss.
Yeah.
5.
And he just whirls around and sees your hair just like in flames, and he's just like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And he kind of like looks around and he takes his jacket off and he starts like hitting you on the head.
No, it's good. I'm fine. I've got it.
What do you mean you've got it?
It's fine. I almost got it out. I almost got it out.
I'm going to say stand there watching as you sort of beat your head and it doesn't really go out at all. It just keep coming back. And
are there lights up already? So it looks like I got too close to something.
No, they are not up yet. And Theo is just standing there and he's like,
can I make like a willpower check to get it under control?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Oh boy.
Oh,
9.
Okay, and your hair goes out. And he's just watching it. And he's like, what just happened? Your whole hair turned into fire.
Peter's, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Your hair turned into fire.
Yeah, how would you react if your hair turned into fire? Do you know?
I mean, I would probably be screaming in pain because my head would be burned, which yours is not.
And?
Why?
I want him to drop it so bad.
Why isn't your head burned, Benny?
Can I be excused for the day?
Make a willpower roll.
Fuck. Oh boy. Jeez. 8.
You know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna call the D Movie King and reschedule this interview. Why don't you take the rest of the day off?
Okay, thanks. She puts down any like she had like some wires wrapped around like her elbow and just kind of like shrugs all of it off and goes okay, and
Yeah,
then
and
grabs her bag and leaves.
Yeah, you see him just kind of collapse into his desk chair and stare at you as you just exit the room and run.
I didn't know.
And yeah, while that is going on, let's say by now it's, I don't know, 8, 9 a.m., something like that. And let's say back at Vion's apartment. What have you two been doing for the last couple hours?
I have something if you don't.
Go for it.
Just cataloging to you all of the plants that I have learned about, discussing some of the cellular molecules, talking about the biology, how they can impact other environments around them. You know, just regular conversational stuff.
Perfect.
And while they are doing that, Vion, what are you doing? You go to sleep? You just hanging out? What are you doing?
I sit on the table in sort of like I've like folded my legs. It's almost like a meditative stance, and honestly hearing about the plants is just like I'm just kind of like focusing, and it's not like I'm like phasing out or anything like that. I am paying attention, but it's like calming me. So I'm just kind of like sort of meditating in that way.
Okay, but you're not phased.
No. Sorry, that was an inappropriate use of that word.
Because you could be.
I'm chilling.
And while you're chilling, your phone starts to buzz, and it is an unknown number.
Sorry. I'm sorry. One sec, Ulez. I'm just going to answer this really quickly. But then,
Okay.
then I would like for you to continue.
Oh, good.
Hello.
Hello. And you hear a man's voice. Is this Vion Vigor?
Well, that depends who's asking. It is. Yeah. Who's this?
Well, for now, I would prefer to withhold my name. I read about you in the article.
I'm sorry. Which article is that specifically?
Well, this morning, the Port Ruby Standard. There's a huge article on the arrest of restaurateur Hugo Hill. The whistleblower Dalen Prawley said Vion Vigor, private investigator, helped her bring him down. Is that you? Is this the right person?
Yeah. Will you give me just one quick second? I'll be right back. I'm still with the phone in my hand. I would like to just get up. I've got like a dish by like in Reservoir Dogs, how Mr. Orange has like that bowl of coins. I feel like I have a similar thing. So I just want to scoop up some coins, go right down to the newsstand, like the newspaper like box that's outside. I need to get an issue of this paper.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like that. You grab the coins, you run down the stairs, you go over to the news box, you put it in. The Port Ruby Standard is like it's like the New York Times of this city, and you grab it, and right there on all the way, let's say the second, the middle column, there is a restaurateur, a prominent Riften restaurateur brought down in extortion scam.
Wait, are we above the fold or below the fold?
Below the fold.
Reasonable.
I didn't know that's why it's called that. Thank you, Sam. I like legitimately. Okay, anyhow. We'll talk about that at break.
You totally could have chose to imagine you were above the fold, but now that you're asking, let's say below. By the way, it looks like we are just a little over $50 away from the after credits lore drop already.
What?
Yes!
Okay, so Caden, you're going to get your baton. We'll get back to that. Yeah, you get the newspaper, and you. By the way, thank you so much, everybody. And you run back upstairs, reading the newspaper, and yeah, Dalen Prawley, who has granted an interview as a whistleblower to the Port Ruby Standard apparently early this morning and made the early edition, sort of spilled the beans on Hugo Hill, except the vampire part, and it's all right there. And your name is very prominently mentioned. Just private investigator Vion Vigor, none of the rest of you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I just had to step out for a second. So yeah, you saw the paper in the story that features my name quite prominently. How can I help you?
Well, I am looking. It's very delicate. I can I come down to your office? Maybe we can talk.
Yeah, absolutely. You can totally do that.
Great. How's later this afternoon?
That should be perfectly fine. Is there like a number I can contact you back with, or you just want to play it real close to the chest here?
No, I will contact you.
Okay.
Meanwhile, sorry. Yeah, I was just, meanwhile back at the hospital. You have completed your rounds, and you have been assigned a fairly heavy rotation, surgery rotation today from Dr. Talley.
Are they good surgeries?
They're not the best. It's actually like a high volume of small, kind of crappy ones. You maybe get the sense you're
Who gets the best?
Dr. Fripp seems to have gotten some of.
Okay, she likes the pediatric cases. If the good cases are pediatrics, then it is acceptable.
Benny, where did you go when you left the Chatterbox office?
She hates it when that happens. Like, that's like really upsetting to her. So she probably went back home, back to her apartment, in an attempt to just like reset nap. She didn't sleep last night. She was already kind of a little afraid. So I think she's gonna go try to we're starting the day over, shower, take like a 45-minute nap, and then we'll probably end up back at Vion's eventually. But like, that'll probably be like a significant, like a 2 to 3 hour chunk of time, however long it takes her to get to her apartment and back to Vion's. But that's her plan. She hates that a lot, and so she wants to start today over.
Yeah, you know what? That is exactly what you're doing for the next few hours. Caden, you work your way through your surgeries, and you finally get to your break. Let's say somewhere around, I don't know, 4 p.m. What do you want to do now? Let's say Dr. Talley says, don't go far. I've got you on call for another couple of hours.
Understood, doctor. Thank you. I am going to go across the street to the construction site.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
In game one, in the first episode, across the street, we established that there was a construction site where you all saved a construction worker. I think his name was Glenn Harrell, from being buried under a pile of cinder blocks. And after the earthquake, that construction site was closed down. It now has a chain, and the front gate is locked again.
That makes sense. It was extremely unsafe. Blocks fell from the ceiling and could have killed humans.
So you find yourself standing at this locked wooden gate.
Is this a climbable fence, or is it more efficient simply to...
What is your Coordination
4.
4. Why don't you try and roll for it if you want to try and climb it?
Right, sure. 7.
Okay. You try. You think it's going to be kind of easy, and you leap up and kind of pull yourself up, and it's one of these where it's like the surface is a little bit slicker than it looks, and it takes you a second, and it's a little bit awkward, and you kind of roll over the top and drop to the other side. It's not pretty, but you make it.
Fortunately, I wasn't being scored on style for this one.
Well, that's what you think.
Dr. Tally isn't scoring me for style on this one. I'll proceed farther into the construction site so that they're probably around where I was, where we all were.
Yeah, there was a sort of like a large hole in the middle of the floor. It looks like,
Exactly.
there had been some, right, that you could see into the basement. So do you want to go down back into that hole? Is that what you're saying? Or you you want to walk
In
back?
that area, I'm going
Sure,
roughly for the purpose of avoiding sight line, broadly
Yeah,
speaking.
okay. Behind the fence and this far in, you don't have to go into the hole. You are not visible from the street.
And now I train.
Tell us what your training is like.
Yes. So I'm training specifically for the John Doe who is now Curtis, who stole my voice. So my combat is both through the use of my voice and through the use of my body. I train them both together in harmony. I rely in large part on the katas and the movement patterns that I learned in the Pages Hall when I was young. The things that are in my muscle memory, the things that are comforting in a way, the way that routine, it feels different in my body this way. But all the more so, it's important to learn what that's like this way.
Oh.
So like a bender, I will punch through a cinder block, and then with my other hand, I will also punch, and 10 feet away, I will blast out with my voice. So the motions are the same, but the effects are distinct, but they are all in sync, because this man who stole my voice doesn't know how to use it. And that is the difference between us. He had it for a moment, and I've had it for a life. And how dare he?
Yeah, and it's just like you described. You're sort of like a bender, a harmonic resonance bender. You're going through your training exercises, and it's precision that you practice, using your power to take out a specific block in a pile, using your power to knock one tin can off the fence, leaving up the ones around it, that kind of thing. And it works. And the more you practice, the better it gets. You start getting the tin can a little bit faster. You start getting that rock, a little bit more, and not damaging the ones around it. And we're just going to integrate that as how you get your changes for this week, because you've got a minor change and a moderate change coming to you this week. And let's say this brings your power level up in general. So from this point on, you're operating at a power level 5, Caden. And what was your other change?
My prowess. I'm also fighting better because I am integrating the two.
Yeah, and that also raises your prowess because you're practicing fighting, and that takes you, let's say another hour or so, and then you head back to the hospital or something. I shouldn't decide for you.
I have my phone. It's not a pager really. I have that if it's needed. I am going to make sure I leave myself at least half an hour before I have to be back for evening rounds so that I can use the showers at the hospital, because at this point I have worked up sweat on top of my iridescence, and the makeup, of course, does not run. But I'm going to take a long loop around the neighborhood, just a bit of evening of night air before I go back in. I don't know how far this is, but what's on Caden's mind, at least, they might turn back and not have enough time, but they're thinking about the storage units. So they might let their walk take them in that direction. Not for the crime and Curtis and all that. It's there's a dog there that they met.
Yeah, you walk through Yard Hill, which is a really, great neighborhood. Yeah, there, people out on the street and vendors. It's, very kind of friendly area and busy. It's nice. It's sort of an invigorating walk. And your route actually takes you by Carpa Storage, which is very close to the hospital, as we've already established. And you walk up. It is still open at this point. It's probably only 4 or 5 p.m. Right? You said it was like 4 when you went outside.
Right. So let's say it's about 5:30ish right now.
Yeah. So the storage facility is still open for another half hour or so, and the gates are unlocked, and you can sort of see customers, people kind of in the parking lot, walking in and out with stuff.
Dog?
You don't see the dog out front. You just gonna go looking for the dog?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
I'm asking for them.
You go walking in towards the storage facility building, and a young guy pops his head out. He's like, "Hey, you looking for your box?"
No. Wait, is it named Box?
No, the storage box that you rented. Is it you're looking for your storage locker? That's what I mean.
No.
You looking for somebody else's storage locker?
No.
Are you looking to rent a storage locker?
Why would that be needed?
To store stuff.
What kind of stuff?
I'm sure I wouldn't know.
Then what are you doing here?
I work here.
And you don't know what is stored here?
Well, no, that's not how it works. We give you the... What are you doing here?
At the moment, I'm talking to you, but I'm looking for Dog. Have you seen it?
Dog?
Yes.
Is that a person or an actual dog?
An actual dog.
You lost your dog, and you think it might be somewhere in the storage lockers?
I last saw a dog here.
Oh, make a willpower roll.
That was cocked. That was better. 8.
Yeah, okay. All right, just go. You can look for your dog. I understand. I'm a dog person myself. Just go on in there and let me know if I can help.
Thank you, Stuart.
Actually, my name is Brian. Stuart was the guy they fired, but thank you.
Of course. Fired? I'm just thinking of Benny in the back of my head.
Yeah, he. I think he might have been stealing from the lockers. I don't know. They don't like that here. Don't tell anyone.
I can see why theft might be frowned upon at a place where things are stored, the contents you know not of.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So he goes back to his work, and are you in fact going to go looking for the dog?
Yes.
Okay. You walk through. Okay, where? Hang on, I got the dogs.
Yep, I remember the dog made a willpower roll.
Yeah, the dog's got a character sheet.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm glad you understand my content.
Guard dog.
Oh, their first name is Guard. Good to know.
You are walking around the storage facility for a while. You do not see the dog. You basically walk through all the available hallways until you finally come to one door that is marked private. It is locked from the outside.
We went through this whole place when we were looking at the camera footage and examining the
Yeah.
scene. So I have probably seen a fair number of these locations on CCTV, if nothing else. Do I remember any context of this? Is this near the place with the lightning truck? Like, do I know anything about this?
I'll tell you what,
based on previous context.
Make an intellect roll.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I can roll nothing but ones tonight.
I just did too, because I didn't roll my pink die. This is very consistent, and I don't know why do I even have that lever. Go, put you down over there. That's a 5 for me, dog.
Okay, that is enough. And yeah, let's say you remember that there were 3 large empty cages in this room that you saw through the video, the security camera panel at night when you came here.
Large cage, like dog, like person, like elephant?
Like dog, like kennel cages, kennel style.
Okay.
I'm basically telling you this is where the dogs are.
Yeah. If I look around, is there CCTV here on this angle?
There is a camera going straight down the hall you're in.
Okay. It occurs to me that the way I do things, it doesn't look like lockpicking. I'd like to go through the door the same way that I went through the safe.
Yeah. Tell you what. I am not even going to make you roll for this necessarily because you're not in the heat of action time. So it's like you could just keep trying it again and again until you get it. And yeah, you do your complex task thing where you kind of shake the tumblers inside the lock and it opens. And on the inside, you find 3 kennels with 3 sleeping dogs inside. 3 German Shepherds.
You'll have to make an awareness roll for me so that I know which, do I know which dog? I didn't realize that they could all be.
Yes, you can tell from the collar. Let's say, I don't remember if I established it. Let's say it's a red collar, you remember. And they all 3 of them have different colored collars, so you can find the red one.
Different color collars, perfect.
Color.
Well, I certainly wasn't preparing for this. But I just happen to have some jerky from the hospital vending machines with me. Not that I intended to go here in particular to visit a dog.
Yeah, and the German Shepherd kind of sniffs at the jerky and.
Yeah, so it's very. I break it actually into pieces now that I know there are 3, and one is expected to share these things. But I'll put it under the dog's nose, so it's probably going to be that thing where they. And then they wake up and realize there's food.
And the dog kind of sniffs at it and then, very gently kind of takes its mouth and takes it from you and takes it back and then kind of puts it down on the floor and sniffs at it and then picks it back up and gobbles it down.
I'm glad you're not alone. There are other dog. That's good.
Make a willpower roll.
See, now my die is much nicer. That's a 7.
Okay. The dog just starts licking your face. Clearly loves you because of the beef jerky.
Thank you. You're not like the humans. You're more Yes, you're more.
You know, that
My
kind of
face
sticks.
is wet now. Very nice. Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to smash cut back to Vion's place. You can decide whether or not you took the dog with you off camera. Vion, what have you and Ulez been doing throughout the day?
I've been walking Ulez around the apartment and explaining what different objects do, whether their style or function and their emphasis. I've also been getting a little bit more information, I think, from Ulez, not necessarily like in prying information, but just like checking up on like how much space might you need to be comfortable, if, you know, like what do you consume for energy, things like that.
I like that. I'm trying to think what has been the most complicated item in your abode to understand.
I got a record player.
But why?
Well, it plays music.
The sounds that you emit that do not provide factual information.
That's mostly correct, although I do have a few old like science lectures that got recorded onto vinyl, but it's more of like a hipster thing that I kind of keep on me. Yeah, mostly it's an experience, you know. That's what I like about this. It's kind of an old practice that, you know, we've kept around, and there's just something in the ritual of making sure the stylus touches, you know, your vinyl, and hearing the pops and the scratches. It's not perfect, but that's kind of what I like about it a little bit more, that you kind of accept what it is.
I like the sound of the static. It is the best part of this music of yours.
We're gonna get along just fine, Ulez.
Hey, Vion, what are you playing for them?
Oh, what a good
Oh,
question.
No.
I think before throwing Ulez into the deep end with like maybe like our version of Tegan and Sarah or something, which is what I would play. I'm thinking this is just like some music, like maybe a soundtrack or something to a film.
What film?
Ooh, in our universe, I want to say it's
we play in a weird blend of reality and fantasy. So
okay, great. Whatever.
Like the Future soundtrack, that's cool.
I mean, that was the first record I ever bought for my record player, was the Back to the Future picture disc. So let's go with that. Alan Silvestri's Back to the Future soundtrack.
Yeah, so Ulez, you're listening to this music and it's just dun 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 dun, and just, you know, what do you think of it?
We don't like it.
Now, let me throw you some Elmer Bernstein or something like that. Let me try something else. And I'd like to put on like a Western soundtrack, maybe like Magnificent Seven or something like that, or Shenandoah Valley or something. Oh. Shenandoah Valley is the place, just Shenandoah.
Okay, right. I can't get the one in my head off the top of my head. But you know, it's cool old cowboy music, you know,
Good and the Bad and the Ugly, or
Good, the Bad and the Ugly, or like Elmer Bernstein's got like those catchy, you know, kind of. Actually, I think that's strange, but. Yeah.
What's amazing about this piece of music, Ulez, that I really like is that even if you've never been out to the landscape from which this, you know, this film was made, you can kind of picture it. You have that sense of like being on the horse and trotting out and the big open sky and the big open land and that feeling that you can do anything. Do you feel that, Ulez?
I feel a sense of vastness. A lot of the other terms we'll work on.
Great. I mean, you're 80% there.
Oh, good. This, I can work with this. I like this. I will sit here.
So Ulez is sitting down jamming with old Elmer Bernstein soundtrack, which honestly makes my heart so happy. What are you doing now, Benny? It's about 5. So the sun is starting to go down a little bit. What are you doing?
I think she took her just absolutely ice cold shower, took her nap. She's feeling a little bit more like a human person. She ate because I think they had like small breakfast at Vion's house and probably has not eaten since. So she's gonna put something together in the apartment for dinner, avoiding her roommates. And then I think she's probably. I think she just kind of does some like repetitive stuff. Like she's gonna try to recenter. I think because she's tried a lot like of different like meditation adjacent grounding things. Like she's got like a repertoire, and none of them really seem to do anything. But sometimes it helps her like emotionally when that kind of a thing happens. Because I don't think she's done it in public in a long time, like burst into flame on accident. And so she's trying to like, okay, there's been a lot of excitement the past couple of days. She's gonna like take apart like a camera and like do like she hasn't cleaned something in a while. So she's gonna go through and take it apart and clean all of the pieces, clean all of her lenses, put it all back together, kind of just like okay, this is something you know how to do. You're in your apartment, like we're good. And then I think after she's eaten and done a little bit of that, whether or not it's helped, she'll find out. She'll find out later, but it's something that she knows how to do. And then I think she's going to go back to Vion's place because they had said that they were going to meet up again later.
Yeah. Okay. I love all that. Oh my God. Yeah. Also, I get relaxed, like kind of cleaning stuff out and like doing like detailed work like that. So I totally relate to Benny. And yeah, you hop in the subway, over from Warehouse City. It's going to take you a good 40 minutes to get all the way over to Fort Trumbull. We can put up map number 2, Jake. It's got all of the relevant Baronsdale towns on it this week, I think. And Caden, what are you doing right about now?
Caden does not take dog because dog is here. The notion of dog going somewhere else requires its own sort of social context. So, like, that would easily be theft. That's kidnapping. We just had a whole scenario with someone's soul for that sort of thing, and I don't want someone like me to come after me. So this is very much in the same way that Caden would go to the observatory, but not take the telescope. You go to the storage unit and you don't take the dog.
So you just
the exact same thought process. So they return to the hospital to round. Would be the next thing that they do because Tally was like back in a couple hours.
Yeah, and let's say you complete your couple of hours by let's say 7, so it is night again. Yeah. And then what for you? Tally is not around. She has gone home.
Yes, if I've finished rounding, then I'll hand off to the intern on the next shift, and I will text. Do we yet have a group text, y'all? How have people been contacting?
I think so far
because I don't understand the social significance of a group text, but it is efficient.
Yeah, I don't know if we've necessarily stated that we've started a group chat. I think it's all been, at this point, declaring individual messaging, but Caden could make one.
That is, in fact, what happens next, yes. Caden initiates a group chat. Are we convening? ?
Come on over, Doc. I send.
I will rendezvous at your location.
Benny, you see that message appear on your phone as you were coming out of the subway.
Ugh. And she'll just ETA however far of a walk it is to get to Vion's.
Yeah, and it's a lot closer to to Serrano Memorial in Yard Hill than it is to you. So let's say when you walk in, the 3 of them are waiting, Caden having just arrived.
Hello.
How's it going?
Reasonably well. Mostly tumor resections. And you?
Just listen to some movie soundtracks, talk about some flowers, you know? Standard Tuesday stuff.
Very good use of a record was introduced to me. I'll gesture at the
what
record
kind
that
of
is
record?
still spinning.
Written? Digital?
Analog? Yes, I was listening, Vian, and I recorded that information properly.
Look at that.
Of course. Caden subtly grabs their phone, is going to just do some side Google.
Right. And Benny, how about you? How has your day been?
Oh boy. I think I've done too much lighting on fire the past couple of days because got to work and it kind of happened right away. So I didn't
What
do
did-
much. I went home.
Work caught fire.
No.
Apologize.
Luckily, just Benny caught fire, but
I thought you had an agreement.
well, yeah, just on the it doesn't hurt me side. It does not care about the social structures of the rest of the world and whether or not that would be an appropriate scenario in which to, start on fire. But other than that, I had a nice nap.
Nice, that's good.
Mhm.
I got a phone call. Hey, we're in the paper. Y'all know this?
No.
Pardon?
Yeah, like this, like what we did is in the newspaper, and I show like the newspaper, like the front page.
Yeah, and by the way, that mysterious caller never materialized.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I got like a contact about like someone called me about like possibly taking up like an investigation, but they didn't show up, so we kind of just hung out.
What's the byline on the story?
The byline
Forget
on the
the
story
name.
is Ann Witt. WITT.
So
Was it this person? And I point to the name Anne.
who wrote the article?
Yes, the one who contacted you. Was it this one?
Oh, well, I never met them. They gave me absolutely no information.
That seems impractical.
Well, yeah.
So, your landlord was accosted by someone regarding a body, and you were called regarding our events, but with no follow-up.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, could you pull up like an online video of this Ann Witt? I'll just compare voices really quickly.
Yes.
And if it's not, that's fine. Let's just, cross that option off the list,
I have become proficient in using your digital databases.
Great.
I proceed to Google. I'm so good at Google,
I'm
right?
so impressed. Les, very impressed at your skills.
Caden appreciates that validation.
Have we gotten Ula's a phone yet, or did they have their own like terminal in which to communicate with? That should be a high on our to-do list. We should
not
get the phone.
You do find a bio for Ann Witt, but you don't, it's a writer. You don't find any sample of her voice.
Yeah, that figures.
Yeah,
But
I don't think I'm quite at the level of there's knowing how to research things and there is Google Foo, and these are separate skills. So I don't know that you can, for instance, try to go through someone's Facebook or look on YouTube for video to try to get some unrelated
What?
clip or something like that.
I'll tell you what, make an investigation roll.
Oh. Maybe it'll be on the
Oh, that
first
was a
page of
6 on the
Google.
dice. So that's a 10.
Nice.
I might have been lying about my own Google Foo.
You find a lot of articles by Ann Witt for the Port Ruby Standard. It looks like she's been writing there for upwards of 20 years or something. And otherwise, not really a lot of footage. You get a picture. See who's a good actress to be Ann Witt. Anybody got a suggestion for a nice reporterly actress?
Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu. Yeah, it's a picture of Lucy Liu.
Sorry, Sam.
What's her beat? She's been writing for 20 flippin' years, like broadly speaking. Is it been local news coverage the whole time? Is there any particular like crime beat? Was she previously on something else and now is doing this stuff?
Let's say she used to be on City Beat and now works on Crime Beat.
Okay.
And while you are sort of looking into that research, why don't we say y'all research while we're taking a break? So why don't we take 10 minutes starting about now, and we'll be right back. Oh my God! Wow, we're actually over. We've got the after credits lore drop open. Oh my
yeah.
God. I don't have that screen up. So it's like I just saw that now. Thank you so much. Oh my God, we are super grateful, and oh my God, I'm so excited we get another lore drop. So yeah, everybody take 10 minutes and meet us right back here. Welcome back. Wow, yeah, we are super grateful. You got us $10 over the after credits lore drop. Like I said, the after credits lore drop. I mean, I don't want to. No offense to everybody. I mean, I feel so fortunate to play with these people, but quickly becoming one of my favorite parts of the game. Even though it's not part, I don't know. So no, but thank you so much, everybody. You've been incredibly generous with us, for all this season so far, and we are incredibly grateful. And I guess let's just pick up where we left off. So it was, it was just nightfall, and you had been looking into the reporter and wit, and just generally talking amongst yourselves.
All right, so we got two choices, I suppose. We can follow our original lead, and we can also go talk to the reporter.
Other than reporting on our destruction of evildoers, is there some direct relevance to this reporter?
To Ann Witt?
Yes.
Not really.
And we have no further information about the people who accosted your landlord, correct?
The twins? Nope.
I believe that they were a rock star and
A hillbilly.
Thank you.
Do you want us to really quickly explain what those are?
That would be incredibly helpful. Thank you.
All right, let's tag team this one, Benny.
Oh boy! All right, I'll play support. Go for it.
A rock star is kind of like our idea of it is like the music you were just listening to, Ules. Yes. It's kind of like sort of a big musician, a famous musician who's got a lot of energy, and you're like, wow, you're very good. That's like a rock star.
Living like good life, they kind of have fun all the time. I feel like is a common perception.
Yeah. It's like they're very good at what they do, but it's like what they do is party.
Yeah.
Other musicians then are known for not having fun.
Yeah. Especially like in folk music
understand
and
this.
stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Having a bad time.
Right. I mean, there are some that are defined by that.
There are
That
a lot.
is-
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called classical music, living in the viola section. Okay.
And a hillbilly is sort of like an older, I think it's an Americana term, if I'm not mistaken. And it's sort of someone who lives outside of what you might consider like congested society, maybe like a little out of touch with modern archetypes a little bit. They're kind of on their own, and there's sort of different social assumptions that we might make about people who live off in the hills.
I wasn't really sure how to go with that one, so that was good. That was pretty good. Good job.
Thanks. Was that right? There was a lot
don't
of hedges to work around there.
I thought they were hills, not hedges.
Well, no, the hedge. Oh man, no, that was more of what I was trying to get around.
Oh, a hedge isn't a bet. Yes.
Well, no, well, maybe that was my own. I like beating around the bush, but I don't want to say that. So I was like, it's a hedge. You know what? That one, honestly, that one was on me. I made that one more
Peonism?
complicated.
Generally,
Yeah.
I don't think of these languages as being especially complicated, but I will grant you the idioms are
Yes. Yes.
varied
I'll get ya.
with tremendous cultural depth. Nonetheless, I feel like this takes us from our central question, which is
What are we doing?
how we should apply ourselves. Given that our most thorough information is on John Doe, now Curtis, and my overwhelming desire is to destroy him, I would put forth my preference.
Great. Well, before we roll out, because I agree with you, we were a little bit unprepared last time that we went into a fray. So we'll definitely make sure we pack the armor that we got, as well as
Benny has it, and I think she pulls it out. She has it in her bag, rolled up. Here's this.
perfect. We got 2 smoke bombs still, I believe. And then a collection of other items that I've kept on from my travels that I can blow some dust off of, and I'd like to open. I think they'd be stored in like a chest. Rick,
What is stored in the chest?
they're like, because canonically, did we get the grappling hook in the story? That
Oh, yeah,
was
not the grappling hook. It was delivered.
It was shipped to us.
okay. Great. In that case, there's just a bunch of items, but one of them would definitely have something that might catch the doc's eye. A little bit of a striking weapon, if you so wish. Right, that was unlocked, right?
Yeah, that was unlocked. You know
Okay.
what? Let's say that. Yeah, that rather than a mysterious benefactor, it is something that Vion has. That works as well.
Or
This
it can
is-
have been a multi-day old package that hadn't been like it can. I'm good for either.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, like when you have the package and then you don't open the package because you're distracted by people having superpowers all around you, and also by you being a ghost, but you're not explaining to anyone why you're a ghost or what a ghost even is, and then they have to Google it, and it doesn't make any sense because where is the ectoplasm on you? But
Yeah, speaking of which, we got this package we got this package. Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about what you're talking about, Doc, but we got this package. I'll let you go ahead and open that up.
all right.
And I'm not trying to distract you. I just legitimately, we should talk. We'll talk later.
I mean, he has also been busy by being a very good host.
Thank you, Liz. It's very sweet of you.
You explained coffee all morning. I mean, you mostly drank it, but I believe within that there was explanation.
Yeah, I talked about it a lot.
There's a weapon in here.
What?
Another one.
I pull
Yeah,
out the
you
baton and then I whip it,
Okay.
Wah!
and then I spin it, and then very
You are armed.
adaptfully.
Whoa.
I like this.
May you define it, please?
This is a striking device. I know it as a baton. This was the correct term, yes? Good. It is used to physically impact upon people with great force, thereby to incapacitate them.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I have trained with similar devices for many years, although not this particular kind. It can become large and then small again, and I collapse the telescoping baton.
Oh, wow.
Very utilitarian.
Yes, excellent for storage.
We respect that.
Yes, I too respect this baton. Thank you. I will treasure this.
So I have this.
And I warrior's
armor-
handshake Vion.
Oh, yeah. Go. It was, yeah. I'm just passing it on, to be quite honest.
So who wants to wear this and unrolls the armor? I think we had said either Ulez or me, perhaps.
Yeah.
An extra level of protection?
I would prefer not to be close to any of these those we have deemed enemies. However, if you do not wish to wear the, what have we called it? Armor?
It's armor, right? That's what it is called? Or a jumpsuit or something?
Yeah, leather armor.
Leather armor. I mean, I'll definitely wear it, but if you would like an extra layer of protection, I would not mind.
Your
It will
carapace is
dim.
quite fragile.
Yes,
Mhm.
but it will dim some of our light, and we like to shine.
Also understandable.
So Benny, you've got that. That's +1 resistance.
All right, cool. She's gonna go, excuse herself, put it on like under her clothes. She wears a lot of baggy clothing. So, and you said it's kind of like, it's able to be like folded and rolled. So it probably isn't obscenely chunky. So she could probably get it on under some of her clothes.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with like your baggy jacket and stuff like that.
Sweet.
Ulez, would you like to carry the smoke bombs?
Yes.
Great. It's a very non-violent, sort of like more of like a defensive weapon there.
Correct. And I believe I can throw things quite well.
Perfect. There you go. And I'll go ahead and I'll take the grappling hook. I'm just gonna carry it though. If anyone needs to use it, just I'll pass it on. But I'll just holster it.
Much
And
appreciated. And likewise, if anyone requires bludgeoning weapon, I would happily lend this.
I mean,
I think I'm good.
yeah, I've seen what both of you can do. I think we're fine.
I agree.
I would tell me if this is stepping out of line at all, Rick. As I'm closing the trunk of items, I see a picture that's of me and my sister. And I'm kind of like closing it, but I do like pause. And it reminds me sort of like we used to play a lot. Like we played pretend and we would play in the backyard. And like we would always like do it together. And this has been sort of like a lonely journey for me. So just planting that thought of like doing togetherness.
Like as kids in the picture, you're as kids in the picture?
Yeah, we're kids in the picture.
What's your sister's name?
Oh, that's a really good question.
You know what? If you're not talking to anybody, keep it a secret for now. And when it comes out.
Great.
Yeah, so you have that moment where you kind of check on, that picture of your sister, and it means something to you in that moment. All right. And now you've all got your equipment, I guess.
Whew. Yes.
All right. Lead the way, Doc.
Absolutely.
You are heading now to the address that Bella Murata gave you. Okay. So it takes you about 45. Oh, you can put up map number 2 again, Jake. It takes you about 45 minutes or so by subway at this hour to get out to the Vault. The Vault is actually a neighborhood called Melton, but nobody calls it that. It used to, like, way back in the day, be a really rough neighborhood. I mean, like, in Gangs of New York era, like when Hell's Kitchen got its nickname, that kind of thing. These days, it's just kind of an economically neglected neighborhood. And as you come out of the subway, you walk down this long street that is closed businesses, vacant lots, boarded up windows. There are homeless people kind of huddled in the alleys, but very little foot traffic, very little traffic of any kind. You don't really see a lot of cars. It's just kind of empty and desolate and dirty. It kind of looks like, one of those areas the city has sort of forgotten about. And you make your way through it to the address Bella gave you. I don't think there's any need for the specific address. And you find the building. And this building is a 3-story building. It's private apartments. It looks like Bella gave you apartment 1, which from the outside you would guess is obviously the first floor. From the outside, you see there is a door to the apartment that is just ground level, and then right next to the door, there's kind of like a big long window that's got like a blackout shade pulled down over it. Through the door, I'll just give you this. You look in, and it's like it's one of these like buzzer entranceways. If you walk into the door, there's like a buzzer, where you can see 3 buttons, and then there's a locked door on the other side of that. And that's where you are. Let's say it's about I don't know. Let's say it's like 9 at night.
So, what's the plan here? Because like he's kind of gotten the drop on us, or at least away from us multiple times. And I guess there's also the chance that he's like not here. But also, if he could take the doctor's abilities, like, I mean, what's saying he can't take any of ours? So like,
There's evidence to suggest he could,
yeah.
if we recall the CCTV footage.
Did he have to grab you? every time, or was it just in proximity?
Well, 2 incidents are not themselves statistically significant, but in both instances, there was physical contact. I felt
Some
weakened for a moment.
Well, I mean, what we can do is, because we're kind of like you said, Benny. You know, it's either a situation where he's here or he's not here.
Can we like be tucked in like an alleyway or something, so we're not just like on the sidewalk
standing right
in
outside
front of his
the window.
window, like
Recon. This isn't my first.
like down like a block, half a block away or something, or like just like
can't,
not
like,
in
left.
front door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll say you stopped about a half a block away. Any closer than this, and you might have to start making like coordination rolls to see if you're stealthy. But
I mean, I can pop in really quickly and try to see sneakily. If I goof it, though, you know, you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
There is gonna be some backlash.
All right, then we can be nearby while you reconnoiter.
Yeah, that works out for the 3 of you. I think that's probably the fastest, most efficient way, right?
Is there a way for you to easily signal while you are incorporeal?
I can
You know-
use my phone.
Oh, okay. Is it also incorporeal when you are?
Anything on me becomes incorporeal. So yeah, I mean, I could put it on speaker and just carry it through. Interacting is where it gets a little sticky, but like,
Then we would be able to passively hear. We will also keep our phone devices. This is an excellent scouting
Yeah.
mechanism. Well
and
done.
if I run into any trouble, I'll just give you the secret code word, which is help. I'm in a lot of trouble. He caught me.
Very
Okay.
sensible.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. And Vian, we're going to say it works just like that. Like you can
Cool.
turn on speakerphone before you become incorporeal. Once you're incorporeal, it's just in your pocket. You can't interact with
right,
it.
it's all made of metals, so you couldn't interact with it.
Yeah. So
That's
okay,
true.
so you are going incorporeal, and you are going to just walk inside and see
Yep.
what you can see.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go incorporeal and you start walking down the street, and you're headed towards the apartment, and then across the street, something catches your eye. You know that occasionally when you are incorporeal, you spot other ghosts. You can only see them when you are incorporeal, and they, at least as far as you can tell so far, they don't seem to see you, and they don't talk to you, and they don't react to you. They just go about whatever it was they were doing. And across the street from Curtis Haber's apartment, you see the ghost of a middle-aged man in a derby and a suit that would probably place him, you know, I don't know, sometime in the 1950s or 60s or something. And he's just kind of pacing in a circle, and he's holding like a bottle in one hand, a bottle of alcohol in one hand, and a book in the other hand. And he's just sort of really frustrated and just pacing in circles. But that's it. You just see it and you watch for a while, and he doesn't notice you, and he doesn't change his behavior at all.
Okay, good to know. I'll make some mental notes really quickly just to get this mechanic down a bit. I'm guess seems like a period, like a historical figure in a way, not like in a textbook, you know, but like from a different time period because of his clothing.
Yeah, you would say right somewhere from the 50s or 60s if you're guessing. If you want, you can make a roll to see if you can pin it down from his clothing.
Yeah, why not? That's a fun little thing. Investigation, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's difficult, but give it a shot.
Why did I do that? 9.
You would say it's somewhere in the 1950s.
Okay, cool. Great. And he seems upset, and he seems this is interesting, Greg. This is, I guess, just for storytelling. Is he just pacing the entire time?
Yeah, he's kind of like walking in a circle as if he's like waiting for something. If I had to cast him with an actor, I would say he would be, let's say, man, I don't want to overcast him. Man,
That would cloud our memory of the.
Wow, that one was really good, Sam. Like that was a cluster pun that kind of like took a second to like develop. That was really good.
Hashtag Tampa. Let's say he's Bryan Cranston.
Oh, cool. Great.
Just so it's somebody we know who he looks like.
Sure. Interesting. The second mental note that I'll just make before I move on from this moment, just because we haven't discussed ghost stuff a whole lot, is that I'm noting that this ghost is stuck on one thing and it's only like one like emotional state. It doesn't seem to be like shifting. So I don't know if that'll come by later. So anyhow, great. So I watched the gentleman for a second, then I'd like to turn, and that first door with the buzzer, the 3 buttons, I would like to phase through that door.
All right, you are phasing now at level 4. It's aluminum. Yeah, let's say you can pass through this door. It's a security door, but it's just really thick aluminum and glass, and you get right through it. And on the other side, you see the buzzer, and the buzzer has 3 buttons. In the first floor, the name slot is blank. On the second floor, the name slot says Glynn, M, Glynn, comma M, as in Michael or whatever.
Okay.
And the third floor says Albert, N, as in N as in Nancy.
Okay. And the first one was blank, right?
Yep.
What's the material of the door of the first floor?
It was aluminum.
Okay.
You were able to make it through that. And remember, you could always spend a point of determination to raise your power level, by 1. So you can, if you run into something that's 5,
push right through.
Yeah, you can get through it if you have determination on you. And
I would.
I guess you have 3 community points of determination right now, thanks to the chat.
Oh, thank you, chat. All right, let's keep this train going. I would like to phase through the door of the first apartment.
Okay, so you walk into this first apartment, and it is relatively small and smells like cigars. You are standing in a kitchen, which is neat. And you can see off to your left, there's a kind of large double doors, and you see that there's a living room behind it. Looks like there's a couch, and a TV, and then to the other side of you, you see there's a small bathroom. Looks like you can kind of just see in and see that it's a bathroom. And then there's a short hallway and a door to what you would probably guess is the bedroom.
Okay. I would like to look around and see if I can find any, like a wallet or anything that would have sort of identifying information as to who lives in this apartment. Just any personal information.
Make an intellect roll.
All right.
Or, do a search, your whole investigation deal.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where did you go? Oh no, 7.
You walk around 7. You find, you walk around the living room. He's got a VCR. There's a stack of old VCR tapes. Wizard of Oz, Singing in the Rain, Sound of Music, stuff like that. And there are photos all over the walls.
Oh, well, okay.
And you see the man you call John Doe, Curtis Haber, in many of them. Some of them are pictures of him with a small dog, a pug. Some of them are pictures of him with a woman who could, maybe be a wife or a girlfriend. You can't quite tell. Some of them are pictures of a kid. You guess might be him as a kid with his parents. They're older looking pictures. And 7. And you walk around some more, and in the bedroom, you see a closet, and you open the closet. Well, let's see, you see a closet. The closet's closed. You see a bed. It is neatly made, and sleeping on the bed is a small pug.
Oh, thank God.
It does not perceive you because you are a ghost. So it you're, as long as you are intangible, it just seems to keep sleeping. And yeah, and there's a dresser. Drawers are closed. Closet doors closed. Said that already. That's what you see here. You going into the closet?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll phase into the closet. I'll
Okay.
phase through the closet door.
Yeah, you stick your head through the closet door, and you see like a lot of clothes that are very tightly packed. And then on the ground, you see a lot of shoes, and there's a lockbox.
Okay.
Steel box, like not quite a safe, like one of these, like, it's got like a key on the top kind of thing.
Okay. I'm gonna relay this to everybody. I'm gonna step back out to the living room, so I'm not talking right in front of the pug, and I'm gonna relay this information to my teammates.
Good idea.
Okay.
It could be a spy pug.
Could be you never know.
Let's consider all that information relayed via text, or you call them, or whatever.
You're
Say
on
it
call
out
right
loud.
now.
We're on speaker.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on
We're on
speakers.
call.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you just described all the things that I described as you were walking around, or something like that.
So I can try getting into this lockbox, or I can open the door and all of us can come in. Just so you know, there is a pug.
What's a pug?
What is a pug?
Small dog.
They make
Thank
them in
you.
small?
Lots of sizes and shapes and temperaments. We'll introduce you to more dogs. We'll take, you know what, Vian, I think we need to take these two to like a shelter or something, but not now. That's for a later date. Is there anyone in there, or is it like, are there any like cameras, or are we going to get, I don't know. I'm just worried about running into this guy.
Great point. I'd like to.
People.
Yeah, there was no one, right? I would like to
eagerly
do,
anticipate running into him.
as a private eye, I would like to do a quick investigation to see if there's any, like, sometimes you can put like a stick above your door frame, and if someone opens the door, it'll snap the stick, stuff like that.
Oh,
I mostly know this from Death Note, but yeah.
I love the one where they
Good.
take a
Pull
hair
back quilter.
put it across the door.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, make another investigation roll. You apply your bonuses, the whole deal.
I got another 7.
Got another one.
This isn't my D6.
So you got a 7.
Mhm.
Okay. You do not find anything like that.
Okay. From what I can tell, there doesn't seem to be anything.
Then we should proceed.
Okay, meet me at the front door.
We do.
All right. I open the front door.
Okay, he lets you in. And I assume, right, you left the apartment door open, so
Yep.
you also now have free reign of the apartment.
Great. And I'm going to close the door behind us. I'm going to phase back out of ghost form, and I'm going to close the door so the pug doesn't run out.
Okay.
That seems responsible.
Just
Though it
speaking as
seems
a pet owner.
disinclined. It seems just to stay there. What an interesting place. We should
yeah.
investigate the lockbox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
As the four
Okay.
of you walk into the bedroom, the pug
Mhm.
wakes up as it starts, smelling people, and it kind of, starts wagging its tail, and it kind of hops off the bed and starts sniffing around.
So over under on the chances that Curtis ran into a shapeshifter since he last left us.
Oh.
A what?
Oh.
Someone who can change form. I mean, I didn't think that was something that could have existed until about 24 hours ago, but a lot's happened. We've met a lot of people with a lot of weird powers. So I don't know, not to sound like a conspiracy person, but
Are you Curtis?
I'm gonna pick the dog up and hold it over to like Kaden. Like, okay,
Let's
Yes.
interview them.
Are you Curtis?
And it just, kind of.
Give it a gentle shake.
This appears to conclude our interview. It is not conclusive by any measure, but not actively confessing to being Curtis. If at some point you transform back into human form and accost us, we will have to deal with you. Please do not exhibit any aggression in this form. I have no desire to physically handle you while you are in this form. You are very small, and it would not be an honorable battle.
The dog kind of does one of those things where it just like cocks its head a little bit,
Paranoia unfounded. Got it. Let's open the safe.
All right. Let's. I'm gonna do another quick check on the. I know I'm very cautious, but I would like to do just one more quick check on the closet door.
Are there any skeletons?
Investigation roll.
Much better by 1. So 10 for. Hold on. 8.
You don't see anything.
All right, looks good to me.
All right.
I open the closet door.
So you have to phase back in to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You open the closet doors. They're like those kind of pull kind that it's got like 2 slide doors. And as you open them, you hear like this click, and suddenly an arrow shoots straight from behind that row of clothes and right into your shoulder. You are down. I'm just gonna say you are down 2 stamina to start with.
Or is he not still ghostly?
No,
he specifically checked with him or whether or not he realized. Yep, just to set off a trap, like Dungeons and Flippin' Dragons.
Good.
It's good. You got
This was an arrow and not a bolt. Interesting.
We can call it a bolt if that's. But I'm just
I don't know. I just it suggests a different drawing mechanism. That's all.
Yeah. Well. As you two hash that out, I've got a stick in my chest.
Caden talks to God. Doc, what do we?
Yes.
What's the procedure on this one?
One goes to a hospital where, in a sterile environment, it is removed. For want of that, we can perform a procedure in the field, but it's not recommended.
I'm gonna try something.
Oh
yeah.
But it might not work. We're getting very excited. This might not work. Here's the thing. I want to ghost so we can pull the arrow out. I know that will cause other medical issues, but here's the test that I'm about to run. The phone in my pocket becomes a ghost when I phase. Will the arrow just phase with me?
Yeah,
because it's on my person.
Maybe it's like a will. It's like you don't want this to phase with you. Maybe it'll drop.
What if somebody held on to it?
Oh shit! Yeah, well, who does it stay with?
You're welcome.
In the name of science, we should investigate. Do it. Just do it.
I'm very interested.
Do you want someone to hold on to it?
I think in practicality, this is a power stunt.
Yeah.
Like mechanically? Getting the power to do something it doesn't usually do. So if we want to use the stunt mechanic, this would be the time.
So who's holding on to the arrow?
Yeah, do you want someone to hold on to it, or do you just want to do it and just see if it works?
Doc, you got...
Yes.
This is what you do.
Yes. I'll hold on to it, and I'll have a piece of cloth or something so I can apply pressure if he does rephase and initiate bleeding, which would be so unusual from someone dead.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it. I phase.
Okay, so you have to spend a point of determination to do a stunt, and right now you have none. So you're going to draw on the community determination? Is that the deal?
Yeah. Is that okay with everyone? I have an arrow.
We're science. Yes.
Science.
All right, so that brings you down to 2. And now to perform a stunt, I believe you have to roll to see if it is successful. Is that wait? Am I doing that right?
It's to get a power to do something it doesn't usually do, so you'd probably follow the rules of that power. Phasing just happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
phasing just happens. So honestly, yeah, that makes sense to me. Since you're spending the point of determination, you phase and the arrow remains in. Wait, whose hand was it? Caden's hand.
The docks,
Mhm.
yeah. Oh,
Now,
all right.
the wound, is now open and gushing blood.
Again, this is not the recommended procedure. It is supposed to happen in a sterile field. I apply
Can I
pressure.
check-
One of you go look for rubbing alcohol
No.
in the bathroom.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
dude, we don't know where that's been. And she's gonna go try to find like rubbing alcohol or like some.
If you
type
see a
of
sewing
disinfectant.
kit in extremis, that will do.
And while you are looking, you go running back towards the kitchen. And when you get there, standing in the doorway,
No.
a very confused-looking Curtis Haber.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the pug?
Question: can like from where I'm at, can I hear the people in the back room talking, or is it quiet enough where like it could maybe appear like I'm the only one in here?
What do
How
you mean?
loudly are you screaming, Vion? With an arrow just having been out of you.
Just groaning mildly,
That's the
perhaps.
question.
I mean,
there.
you can certainly hear them. Yeah, you can hear
Oh,
Vion.
shit.
You're not that far away. Yeah.
It's an
Okay.
arrow. I'm gonna be loud. I'm so
You're maybe
sorry, Benny,
15.
but
That's okay. That's okay. So I walk in and he's just his immediate reaction is confusion. That's what he's going on
He's
for.
just sort of looking at you, and he kind of looks around. What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Wait. And he steps toward you. Don't get
Yeah.
wise.
She takes a step back. What did he say? Sorry.
Don't get wise.
Never claimed to be.
And he looks down the hallway, and he can see the shadows moving from the end of the hallway. Who else is here?
Just me and a pug. Very friendly. I'm hoping that me talking will catch their attention.
Yeah, you can all hear this.
Ugh.
Or at
All
least,
right.
Do you have any rubbing alcohol?
and he closes the door behind
And
you.
she takes another step back.
All right, you both can go. I'll hold it.
I really want to open that safe.
How did you find this place?
Luck.
Ulez, you're going to try and open the safe?
Yeah. It's
Um,
danger.
okay.
I just want to hold his attention. I want to make him kind of irritated so that he just pays attention to me.
Okay, hold the lockbox, holding the wound, and holding his attention. We got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, Benny, make a willpower roll.
Let's do it. Okay. Oh boy. Okay.
Ulez, make a. I mean, that's an intellect roll. You're trying to. It's a lock is a mechanical device, so you can probably apply your mechanical bonus.
Oh, it's almost like I've gotten an advantage in that too, because I'm really good at just like these basic mechanical things.
And as you've been
Wow.
on Earth, for a couple of days and seen a few of them, you've gotten a little bit better. So, because of the change you took, you now get a +2 when you are working with devices because you are now
Very
a
good at this.
master. No,
Yeah.
an expert. You're an expert of mechanical devices.
There we go.
What did you get, Benny?
11.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's really kind of thrown by your presence, and
That's
doesn't
all I want. I want to make him really
But you're
off kilter
so-
in his own home.
he's not really moving. He's just kind of like, "What are you doing here? What are you do? How did you find this place? I know you. You're from the hospital. I saw you outside the hospital.
No, you didn't.
What did you get, Ula?
Oh, I got a 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you opened that lockbox. And inside the lockbox, you open it up and you find rolled up into a ball is a bloody hospital gown.
Ew.
Like dried blood. Looks like probably the one that he was wearing when he fled the hospital last time you saw him. There is a little leather sack It's like a satchel, and if you look inside of it, you see a bunch of papers that you probably don't understand. And then there's a little box that also has a bunch of like kind of printed papers in it that probably don't mean much to you given who you are. Meanwhile, outside, Curtis is, all right, I saw you. I know you were at the hospital. Who are you?
Who's to say?
And who's in there? And he yells down.
Nobody. You've got a very cute dog. I'm raising my voice to match his volume. You've got a very cute dog, sir.
Where's
What's
my
his
dog?
name?
And he pushes past you and sort of
Oh
starts
no.
towards the bedroom. Where's my dog? And he walks in and he sees the three of you, Vion, on the floor, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Caden, you are.
I was given a moment to prepare, in
Yeah.
fact. So I'd like to be in the by the door position with the baton and striking because he's holding the wound. So
Okay. So he walks through the door. Why don't you make a coordination roll? You know what? You don't have to make a coordination roll. You have the element of surprise here, I think. So
best
what
one
do
on
you
the
do?
periodic table.
You slug him when he walks in?
The one step past, and then you ideally want to hit right at the base of the skull. That's the night spot on
Okay.
humans.
Make a prowess roll.
I can't activate anything right now because I have I need to be in more trouble. This is what I've learned. I am not in enough trouble.
Yeah, I've got to give you all more troubles. I'm sorry. That is on me. I apologize for that. But although you can give yourselves troubles. And you
I've
should
been
look-
looking for them, but I wanted to be good at dog.
Yeah, no, I understand. You should also look at tactics. You don't do it right now, but for next time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have. Okay, cool. So yeah, make
That's
your
a 12.
That is a 12. Okay, that is a moderate success. And you kind of crack him on the back of the head, and he immediately just, and he kind of falls through the door and falls to his knees, but it does not knock him out. And he kind of puts his hand on the back of his head and looks at his, see if he's bleeding. And then he looks up at you. Oh, sucker punch, eh? Real nice. And he starts getting back up to his feet.
No.
Roll initiative, everyone.
Oh. Ooh.
It wasn't a punch. I don't understand. Humans are bad at combat.
All these idioms.
Ooh.
All these idioms.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
7.
Also 7.
Only 5. Which makes sense. I have to set up for the next strike.
Well,
I got a 10
Ooh.
for no good reason. Because, like, what do I do?
You take your turn at the lockbox. Oh.
You go first. Then Curtis Haber goes. Then Vion. Then Benny. Then Caden. But Caden, you hit him with a moderate success. So you deal, I think, half the damage that you do, right?
No, that's a marginal success.
Oh, that's a marginal success. Okay, so you do the full damage that you do. then.
Moderate, and I think that means I have a chance at a stunning strike, like mechanically,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you might be right.
because it's stuns target for 1 page, during which the character cannot act. If I achieve a potential stun outcome and inflict 0 or more stamina damage after resistance, which I did.
Did you achieve a potential stun outcome and you inflicted 0 more stamina damage after?
Which
Okay,
is
yeah,
hitting in
so-
the night spot and doing the damage.
So you do 5 damage to him,
Mhm.
and he is stunned. He's kind of struggling to his feet, which means he does not go next, the second in the round, because he doesn't go this round. We'll just use his initiative for the second round.
Mhm.
But that means that not Bian, Ulez, you go first.
I would like to wrap up all the items in the dirty
Hospital gown?
gown,
Okay.
hold it to my chest, and with one free hand, look at the man who's kind of tottering. You're trying to hurt my friends, and if there's something I think I have properly documented, it is that I do not like it when people hurt my friends.
And I would like to use my power
Are you activating a quality there and spending determination?
I would love to do that. Thank
Okay.
you for the suggestion.
You have 3. Okay, so now you're down to 2.
I'm back to
and,
2. Yeah.
Your power level is 4, and you can
Correct.
add 2 to that test because you spent determination, and clearly you are protecting your friend, so it easily applies.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot. Okay. 11.
11.
R.I.P. What was his name?
Curtis.
Curtis.
Okay, so you deal.
Oh my god. I'm always at max.
Yeah, you're always at max, right?
It's a lifestyle.
4 damage.
Well, trying to siphon some of his life, but I don't need any of that.
And he remains stunned, so he does not get to attack. And Vion, it is your turn.
Okay. I mean, there's only so much I can do, and I'm hurt. So I will take this moment, and hopefully I'm not just burning a golden opportunity.
I'm going to say you have the temporary quality of injured.
Okay, yeah. So I struggle. The best thing I can do is reach into my chunky cardigan and then pull out the grappling hook and hand it to Benny.
Okay. I am going to give you a point of determination, Vion. Your temporary quality of injured, when you try and pull the grappling hook, it just like a wave of pain goes through your body. You just kind of, you can't even get it.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
You just look at me just like trying to...
So that means it is Benny's turn.
What are we doing? Are we fighting or are we leaving?
Oh, yeah.
Caden is in fight mode. Caden is clearly pissed. Whether you are also on that line is entirely up to you, but Caden was pretty clear about what they came in with, and it's destruction, and it's an identified evildoer. That doesn't...
No, Benny's definitely not there. But but she's not going to leave you guys. So, the closet is open, right?
Closet is open, yeah.
Is there like a belt in sight?
You can retcon one in.
I will spend a determination to get a belt. I want to grab him.
So you're down to 0, but yeah.
I got 1 earlier today from you used my card, so I'm back down to 1.
Right. So you're back down to 1. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. So I want to either, because he's stunned. Well, we have him stunned. I'm sure there are going to be questions that need to be asked. And we can do that if he gets knocked out fully, or if we keep fighting forever. And I don't want anyone else to get hurt. So I want to grab a belt or something in the closet that I can try to get, like, either around his upper arms. I don't want to touch him. I want to make sure I'm not going to touch his skin, because I don't want. I know this is volatile, and I don't know. He won't know that. And so I just want to get, if I can get it tied, if I can get it strapped, like around his like elbows, if I can get his arms down or something, just somehow incapacitate him. That's my plan here. You tell me what I can do if that's possible, what I'd have to roll for while he's.
You know what? I love the idea of trying to like kind of whip the belt around him, and let's say you spent that point of determination to retcon in. Ron Perlman's a big guy, so his belt, is nice and long, let's say, and he's still kind of stunned, and you kind of, like lashing around him. And I'll tell you what, make a coordination roll. Let's see how it works.
Okay. Oh, that one went flying. Okay,
they teach you how to use belts to lasso in Michigan, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. She grew up on a farm. She can lasso. No, that's a 7.
Yeah, you know
While
what?
he's stunned?
Hey, that's a minor success.
Okay.
You just narrowly avoid touching him. You maybe get bumped a couple of times as he's swaying back and forth, but you manage to
at
get
least
that
just
belt
get
around, like
get
kind
it
of
through the loop, even if it's not fully like done through, just like enough to
Yeah, and
That's
I'm
the
gonna
idea.
deem him. What do they call that? Held, right? Like in wrestle, like with a wrestling move.
Restrained.
Restrained, something like that.
Yeah. Let's call him. Yeah, he's got the temporary quality of restrained.
Okay, that's what I got.
Nice.
And that makes it Caden's turn.
Oh gosh, he's hurt. He's stunned. He's restrained. Mm-mm.
Yes. He does still have what I would describe as a temporary quality of conscious.
Ooh.
Correct.
So I would like to roll to remove that quality. Actually, no. Here's what I would in fact like to do. All goofs aside, I would like to do something that Caden has tried before with this precise person, noticing in particular Benny's reluctance to touch. I'd like to use my power, use a point of community determination if I may, to activate a power stunt for a secondary power nullification.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Heck yeah. This is a well thought out move.
Nullification. Okay.
Because I had the inverse wave attempt back in the pilot. And mechanically, this is how you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to try and send an inverse wave with your power that nullifies him?
That nullifies, yeah, his powers. I think in this particular instance, since we don't know that he's yoinked any particular ones, and I'm trying to just sort of do a shutdown, I think in this, it's probably more of a harmonic resonance interacting with him physiologically, such that he's not in a position where he's able to do that. But mechanically, yeah.
Okay.
I want to pull a nullification, if I may. If that works.
Yeah, that's a fantastic move.
Ooh.
So you spend a point of community determination, and what quality are you invoking?
For stunt, do you have to?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you might not have to for starting. You know what, you're right. Okay, yeah. So, okay, you're invoking secondary effect. Okay, so you gotta, all right. You gotta hit him.
Okay.
Make a power roll.
All right. So that's dice plus 6. And a 6 on the die. 12. Oh, I should roll. Technically, I should roll my O die, but for nullification, I actually want to use max.
Okay.
So I studied that ahead of time, and the O die is fine for whatever it's worth.
So what did you get?
That was a 12 on the power roll.
Oh, 12 on the power roll. Okay.
So from what I recall of the nullification rules from when I studied them this morning, because Caden extremely wants to specifically cancel this guy, it's my power level subtracts from his. So I get him down to 1, which means like he's like worth of power now.
Oh, so your power level subtracts from his. Your power level is what?
5.
5. So that brings his power level down to 1. Okay, but... Oh, should I do this?
Yes.
I should?
Yes.
Okay. Curtis spends a point of determination to cancel the effect of your nullification. He actually, you know what? No, he can't do that, but he can add +2 to his effort to try and resist, to try and dodge you when you shot him. And you got a 12, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go, Curtis. Okay. Huh.
Did we tie?
Yeah, it's... I'm going to call this a marginal success. He kind of falls out of the way as you send your blast, but you hit him.
I've got him. I know I got him held up with the. I don't know if that affects anything or if it's for flavor, but I've got him held up.
Oh no, you've absolutely got him like restrained, but like
you're counterbalancing into the belt.
Right? Yes,
yeah.
Like tugging at you, and he pulls just kind of to the side of the blast, but you do hit him, and he falls kind of shaking on the ground, and he tries to like kind of lift up his arms, like as if he's gonna do one of those blasts or something that he had done, but like he can't even lift up his arms, and he's like, what did you do to me?
Stopped you from you doing what you did to me.
And
why did you do it? And what did you do to the truck?
Truck? I don't have the truck.
Mickey's looking for the truck. We saw that you were at the truck.
Yeah, I figured he might be. You don't know anything. You have no idea what you're doing.
That's why I'm asking the questions.
Think you're so smart.
I want to tighten.
Yeah, okay, you tighten. Tell you what, make a strength roll.
I'm more trying to intimidate him, but
Okay,
I don't think that necessarily.
Roll then.
I don't necessarily have like. It's more of a just like a who's in control here kind of a thing. So I'm not trying to hurt him with it. Just like
you can inflict strength damage on a character in a complete hold as a reaction with no test required.
True. You want? Do you want to?
No, I want him to answer the doctor's questions. I don't want to like. If we get answered questions or hurting him, I would rather he answer the questions.
Strength damage isn't stamina damage. It just makes it harder for him to get out of the hold. I'm tempting you with damage. Benny doesn't.
That's true. I know. I think Benny would go for the like reminding him who's got the upper hand here. I'm gonna go with the intimidation factor.
You have the upper belt.
Ooh, really not great. 7. I rolled a 1.
He did not really do great either. So he probably feels that, and he's like, hey, just relax.
Then don't get wise.
What do you want?
I want you to tell me why you took my voice. And there's a rumble there.
Why'd I take your voice? I honestly didn't know I could when I did. I gotta tell you, it all kind of happened pretty fast, but I'm sort of enjoying it now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not really used to having power. Like you are, apparently.
What happened?
What happened to what?
What happened to you?
I don't know. There was something in the back of that truck. I don't know what it was. And when it got hit with the bullets, there was some kind of electricity or something, and it hit me, and it wouldn't get off of me until, I don't know, a while later. By the time I got to the hospital, it was gone. And then when I touched you, I don't know. I just felt something change. I felt this voice. I knew it was there, and I knew how to use it. And
what happened to the truck? Mickey sent you for it.
I don't know. Someone took it. Got to tell you, it's like whoever it was, they were well armed. Probably Cluster, but I don't know.
Cluster?
Yeah, Cluster.
Who are they?
Make a willpower roll.
Yeah.
Can I help by being got him?
I
just like
sure.
Maybe
awesome.
don't do. I mean,
I won't if you don't want it.
The cluster thing was probably the first time that Caden sounded a little hesitant, a little afraid. So I'm okay if I fail this a bit.
Okay.
That's a 7 out of me.
Ooh, it's a tie. Why don't you look it up sometime or something? I don't know. I'm not your guide to the New York. Excuse me. I'm not your guide to the Port Ruby underworld.
You could volunteer. From what I understand, Mickey isn't happy with you.
Yeah, but that's all right because I got plans for Mickey.
Really?
Don't you worry about me. I know you're pretty smart, but you don't think of everything, you know.
Why does he keep coming?
Because
Then what exactly is it that you plan to do?
you'll see. Everyone's gonna see.
You're
Is
making
any of-
yourself sound like a danger.
I have your notes. Is any of that information there?
All right. You know what? He spends another point of determination to recover some of his stamina.
Oh no.
And and he looks up at you and he says, you know what? Y'all are so smart. You'll be able to stop me. But I honestly don't think you're gonna really be able to keep up because you already missed one.
I blast him.
Okay, well, with what?
Caden says, no monologue.
Sonic. Yep.
Okay,
He sounds
Sonic,
like a clear and present danger.
make a. So this is the same thing for you because sending a blast is a special. Everything's a specialty task for you now. So it's just or wait, do you have the blast?
This is just my
section? Oh,
standard power. This is the absolute basic.
This is just your blast power.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so,
just looking to lay in. He said he recovered some stamina, apparently. My power does 5 damage. He can't evade it.
Roll your
It just seems like a good time. Like, he seems like he's about to do something.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
seems like a bad thing to let him do.
If
Roll
he's
your
being
power.
restrained and is in the middle of something, do they get any sort of bonus or help or
Advantage.
I don't know what that would look like.
Oh,
it would probably be an advantage if we had to roll like initiative for it.
He has
but-
a temporary quality of restrained. Was that what
Yeah.
you had said?
yeah.
Mhm.
So then I could, if there were free activates on that, I could activate for another +2 into it.
I
Yeah?
don't think there were any free activates for that quality.
I think I rolled a 7, and I don't think that was enough to get.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that it was a was it a moderate
remember at this
success?
point, but I don't remember saying that there were free activates.
Perfectly reasonable.
Mhm.
Roll your
I-
power and oh yeah.
I'm happy to take a deterrent because I got one a moment ago from when you activated the determination for him, correct?
Yes.
That bounces one back to us. So I went from 0 back to 1.
You because you were the closest
Yeah,
affected.
so I'm going to spend that now for I uphold my oath.
Okay, and to do what with improved effort?
Yeah.
Okay, make your roll.
All right. That was a 3 on the dice +2 is 5 is 11.
Okay, you hit him. It is a moderate success, so you deal 5 damage.
Mhm.
And he just, goes flying back on the floor and hits the wall on the side, and he kind of wheezes for breath. And he looks up at you, and he says, "Hey, Doc, I traded up." And on that, a big purple flash shoots out of his eyes. Everybody willpower roll.
No. He talked to her.
In
Take
the
at my butt.
me as well.
Yeah,
I'm
you
in the
too.
other room. Okay.
Oh, are you in the other room?
Yeah, I can't get up.
I thought this fight happened in the
You're
same room.
Yeah, he came
He
to
came
us.
this is all in
in,
the
I hit him
bedroom?
over the head.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh.
So yeah, even
Yeah.
you. Everybody make a willpower.
I like
roll.
being included.
Oh, good.
Someone spend the last point of community determination to make this if they want. Like, someone do it.
True.
Someone should pass this. I don't feel an overabundant need to. I've done plenty.
I got an 8.
Nice, Ulez.
One of y'all wanna take it?
Anybody else want this point?
Someone
I
like
got-
it.
Take it. Vion,
Well,
take
okay.
it. Vion, take it.
I'll take it.
I have determination.
Oh yeah, okay.
So,
Oh,
like,
Himalayan.
yeah.
I also have determination still too, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
want to
activate.
activate
Burn it and
one.
burn it. I'll do that if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Especially you, Benny. It seems
What quality are you activating, Vion?
Ooh. I mean,
Oh man.
I've got loves to live it up.
How does that apply?
I'm dying.
Nah, sorry.
Okay.
That's a little too long distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend my own, I think, here. My last point. I do stubborn as a mule. If this is what I think it is, this has happened to me many times before, and I didn't like it, and I don't want it to happen again. And I'm stubbornly not giving him access to my brain.
So okay, you're spending to get
For
improved effort?
+2, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you get?
Oh my god, roll still. Oh Jesus.
Well, as you got an
Almost
8.
fell out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do my +2 determination because I'm trying to be protective of my friends. Does that
11.
You're not actually acting offensively to protect right now. You are kind of just passively receiving this flash to the eyes. What do you
Dang.
have? You have
I really like to draw.
I'm learning, honest but naive, strangely protective. I'm not seeing something there.
Fuck. I really can't argue any of these.
You're gonna have to stand on your 8. What do you have, Benny?
Okay.
11.
What do you have, Vion?
I got 7.
Caden?
Oh, I got hit full in the face. He was aiming at me. I got a 4.
Oh, okay. So what I'm going to say is, as the flash hits your eyes, all 4 of you fall asleep.
No! 11! It's terrifying.
And on that, we'll pick up next week.
Oh man.
That was so Thank you so much,
Goodness.
everybody. It looks like we got to like $275.
Oh my God.
We are so incredibly grateful. Thank you. Stick around for the after credits sequence. We're gonna get the after credits lore drop, which is coming any second now. But first we got to do the credits. Are there any post-credit announcements? Let me see. The only post-credit announcement is, please, for the love of all that is good and holy in this universe, vote. Please. I cannot stress this enough. And that's the only after credit announcement. So let's let the good people know where they can find you, starting with our friend B Zelda.
Hello. My name has been Zelda, and I've been playing your wonderful friend and robot, Ulez. Cyborg robot. You can find me on Twitter, is at B_Zelda. Add an extra underscore to the end if you want to follow me on Instagram. I am a podcaster, a member of the Broadswords, an all-women non-binary D&D podcast. I am a streamer. Honestly, follow me on Twitter because I don't know what my November schedule is anymore. And I'm a professional GM. I will run games if you would like to pay me. My current game of the month is Alice is Missing that I've been running for folks, and it is amazing. And I just really like to cry. So if you just want to cry with me, it's a really good game.
Omar.
I'm Omar. You can find me at Omar Najam on Twitter. And also, because we are in the midst of voting season right now, because we've got till Tuesday, I'm running a site with my friend Beverly called GatherTheGuild.com, which has got some voting resources and also incentivizes folks to play with RPG incentives. So if you want some music for your game that I composed and it's completely free for you to use wherever, just hit that up and please vote. Thank you.
Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Bruder. I've been playing Benny Beckett. You can find me on Twitter at KKAMABR and on Twitch, my Twitch channel with just 1K. You can catch me every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific on Rule of Lore for our sci-fi, spacefaring, superpowered cipher game where I play a little alien named Bina Oba, whom I adore. Season 2 just started. We have a recap out, so if you want to catch up, you can jump right back in. It's good. It's a good time. So twitch.tv/Rule of Lore is that one. And then as I haven't put out a ton of announcements about this yet, I've only mentioned it, but follow me on Twitter. Keep an eye out for this. Sometime next week, I'm going to be running a charity stream for, I think, the Trevor Project. I'm going to do, in memory of one of my dear friends, and we're going to be doing a some sort of fundraiser in her memory. I think next week. So keep an eye out on my Twitter. I will have more info about that. But I hope you'll come check it out. And that's what I got.
Sam Lev.
When I am not Dr. Caden D'Alto performing surgeries and committing assault and battery, I am Sam DeLev. You can find me on Twitter at Tchaikovsky, ChaiKovsky. You can also see me urging you with the whole of my being to vote. Please vote. I like being alive. I am way too disabled and trans for this. So you can find me on my personal Twitch and throughout the Twitchernet. My schedule is on my About page. That's twitch.tv/Delevely, DELEVELY. Vote. Thank you. Vote isn't part of the name, but it's part of what I'm asking you to do. Vote.
Yeah, everything they said. And I'm Rick Budd. You can find me on Twitter at rbud913, or you can follow the show at Powerplay RPG on Twitter or Instagram. Feel free to hit me up with questions about the rules as we play them by, or continuity stuff if you want, if you got questions. And I will be back here next week with these same four people for what I cannot believe is the 5th and midpoint episode for our season. It feels like it just started yesterday. I'm stunned. We're already
2 days ago, if you believe the in-game canon.
Yes, 2 days ago. Yeah. Well done, Tom. You've just been on tonight. Yeah. And
That happened once.
And that's it. Yeah. So we are. Yeah. Thank you so much to everybody for unlocking everything and for hanging out with us. So without further ado, your after credits lore drop. The credits come to a close. The screen goes dark and it comes up. We are in Port Ruby. It is 1931. We are outside of an enormous private house in the uptown area of Avalon. A butler lets a highly decorated police officer, an older man, into a house and leads him through the foyer, up a set of stairs and down a hallway. Everything is exquisite and tasteful and obviously very expensive. Finally, they arrive at a spacious sitting room where a handsome upper crust couple sits together on a couch. They both look deeply exhausted, like they've been crying maybe. If I was going to cast them, I would say she is Emma Thompson and he is Andy Garcia. And the butler steps back and the police officer steps forward and says, Mr. Serrano, Mrs. Serrano, as chief, it is my most unfortunate duty to inform you that we have recovered your daughter's body. I am so sorry. And the couple just look absolutely devastated. And Mrs. Serrano chokes back her tears and asks, how? And the chief says, we think she was hit with a blunt object, maybe a pipe. And the couple barely reacts. And Mr. Serrano holds out his hand to the chief and says, thank you. I'm sure you and your men did everything you could. And they shake hands, and then the butler leads the chief back down the hall. And once they're alone, Mrs. Serrano starts to sob, and she just says, I can't believe it. I can't believe she's gone. And Mr. Serrano walks to her and he takes her in his arms and he pulls her close and he whispers into her ear, what if she doesn't have to be? And we'll see you next week. Thanks for playing with us.